So much better than dead.
It's... Oh my gosh, you're so right.
Live from Blue Box, it's Monsters of the
Monster
Week.
of the Week. Chandler, that would have been a very, very good background to
If only
have.
we had a cool intro.
Which one? Oh, the conspiracy board?
Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy, it's the truth. You all have to understand that you kind of believe what you want to believe because it's easy, right? I get it. Before I was magic pilled, I thought like you did.
Hobbs sent me the female version of Mary.
Oh, great. I would love to see it. I imagine you're going to be showing it off.
Is there a male version of Mary?
I'm gonna put it
That's
on
the dark.
There is indeed. That was the original. That
She
was made.
the dark time.
The dark.
Yeah, Hob did not know that Mary was a woman.
Okay.
Now that looks about right.
That's what I need.
Yeah, Mary is a... Oh. Robert, we didn't do something. You have to pick a race for your character. I'm gonna really quickly send you a document.
Oh, I'm gonna go get a quick Hawaiian shirt.
Just a fast Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
How's it going, folks? I hope you are doing good. Robert, check the general chat. I'm gonna drop a file in there.
Uh-huh.
Just go in there,
Oh
pick
my
one.
gosh, I love her so much.
I know, right?
You did what?
Oh gosh, is my webcam being really nasty right now? Do I look really nasty to you guys?
You went really fuzzy.
Why do I look so fuzzy?
I don't
Shave that
know.
beard.
Focus?
Come on. Come on, camera. I'm gonna drop off and come right back. I will be right back. Alright, folks. We're gonna work this out.
We're mostly live.
Yeah, I'm really
Mostly.
fuzzy. Is there like something on the webcam? Oh, that made it really bad.
So it's probably that bright light behind you throwing it off.
I don't know what's going on. Thomas has never been so out of focus before.
I'm so unfocused.
Focus, Thomas, focus.
Yeah, you need to really just.
Oh, okay, that
get
did
in
it. That did
focus.
it.
There you go.
Oh, jeez.
You fixed.
All right, don't eat French fries and then touch your webcam, folks. That's a lesson from me to you as a professional streamer.
I do what
Good
I
to know.
want.
Just so you know. All right, Robert, what are you thinking for race on your character?
NASCAR. Go for NASCAR. Daytona.
It's either going human or elf.
Okay, I'm good with either of those. Whatever it is, just copy paste the one that you want under custom moves on your character sheet in the bottom.
Just so you know, we've already got an elf.
Yes, I'll just go straight up human then. That's fine.
Humans are
All good
cool.
with me.
He could be a troll, can't he?
All right, folks, are you ready to be seen by the people of the internet?
God, please.
That's a good question for you,
Mr. Coppola,
Evelyn.
I'm ready for my close-up.
Are they ready to see us?
Are they ready?
That's
You
probably
know,
the better question.
Robert, that is a much, much better question.
I'm
Are
beautiful.
the people
They're
of the
always
internet
anxious to see me.
ready to see us? I also want to say thank you to everybody who's already in the chat, enjoying a starting soon screen and our voices. I also hope everyone could actually hear us, because last time I did this with Robert for the LMA, no one could hear us. So, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. What's up? You know me, folks. It's Thomas, your best friend.
That beard's getting bigger and
It's
bigger.
getting
every
real
week.
big. Hi, everyone. You saw this beard slightly shorter 2 weeks ago. Welcome to this beard 2 weeks later. This is Monster of the Week. Can people in chat really quickly... No, we are never prepared. Can people in chat really quickly tell me how music and their voices sound in comparison to my voice, and we will get started. Also, we have a fun special guest tonight, which we'll introduce in just a second. How are we doing, guys?
Our special guest is the only madman that I've seen run like a 20-person Discord roleplay. Because I checked on this last Friday, and there were like so many people in that one voice channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a small army playing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is you don't have to just play in the voice channel. You can come and watch. But it's okay. Robert can plug that in a couple minutes. All right, folks. So, Monster of the Week. If any of you are new to Monster of the Week, we did this... I think, Evelyn, correct me, we did 5 streams starting in the second week of October last year for about 5 weeks straight that have so far told the story of 9 different adventurers that have come together in the town of Cody, Wyoming. Pat, I'm getting some weird background noise from your mic, just so you know. And they came together over a appearance of a Bulette, a monster from the Dungeons and Dragons that we all know and love, and have thus far gone to defeat ghosts, mephits, and most recently, a water elemental myrmidon named Eris. After delving deep into the geyser of Old Faithful, they have emerged victorious and stand now before an open lake deep, deep underground, waiting to see what happens next as their friend Greg, who guided them down here, is freaking out because of what he just saw. But before we get into the game, why don't we have everybody introduce their character and themselves as people and give themselves a little shout out, because I'm certain everyone wants to do that. And we will start this week with Mr. Patrick Draws. I can't hear you, Pat. You are muted.
It's because you said my microphone was being weird.
I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm Pat Draws. I draw stuff. And I troll most of the Blue Box and other associated streams whenever I can. And I play Adrian Yano, the secret CIA Paranormal Division's agent, and I am the professional of the group.
Professional. And you are a tiefling, for those who care about the visuals of your character. And soon, we'll have some fun character art, which hopefully we will have the artist of those characters to help us show that off. We also have with us Mr. Chandler?
Yes, Mr. Chandler, also the Mr. Grantler. I am Chandler. I am a member of the Rise of the Rune Lords cast on Sundays when we do it. And I also have my own stream, Mr. _Grantler on Twitch. And we have a lot of fun. That's the only thing that I will spoil. We get into some trouble with Google Forms and Wheels of Punishment and all sorts of alternative little games to go along with the stream.
That we certainly do. And golf. There's you play a lot of golf, a lot of Civ 6.
Yeah, it's the best sport.
You heard it here first, folks. Golf, the best sport. Let's move swiftly along to the most currently distracted person, Evelyn, so that we can get our guest in. If it's too much of a bother, I can.
No,
okay.
I'm good.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Evelyn, Theater Evie. You know me. I am here on Blue Box all the time. But yeah, Theater Evie on Instagram and Twitch, and Twitter too. And Monday nights I'm on Machi D's channel playing the Pathfinder 2e. So come check us out over there. It's fun and great.
Was last night. And
yeah,
it was
cool.
Last night.
Yeah.
I tuned in for a little bit of it.
Thomas popped by. It was great.
It was great. And last, but certainly not least, our newest player, Robert Phantom NJ.
So, hi. I'm Robert Phantom NJ. You can find me, well, pretty much everywhere these days. I frequent guest contributor here. I'll be actually hosting the Lore Masters Arcanum show tomorrow night here at Blue Box. I am now streaming on my own channel at 8 p.m. Eastern on Mondays, as well as I am playing in a brand new indie TTRPG on Kayla Time Lord Wife's channel on Sundays through the end of January. It's been a lot of fun. And of course, Friday Night Crusades in the Discord here. If you want to hang around with everyone and play some Castles and Crusades, we'd love to have you. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, do you want to tell me about my character now, or kind of leave that until the big
I think
reveal?
that's smart. Let's leave it until you decide to introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, where we last left off, the party was deep within the bowels of Yellowstone's Old Faithful Geyser, which I'm going to pull you guys to really quickly. In a deep underground lake that had a statue, a copper-armored statue of a man with tidal wave embellishments across it holding a trident, who declared himself Eris, protector of Socorus. And you learned a few things in this fight, not only that he was created by a wizard named Eris in guarding whatever Socorus is, but that he will do so to his dying breath from anyone who makes their way down here, which meant, unfortunately, you all, because you had the unfortunate side effect of being seen by him. No matter how much you tried to defend your actions, he simply would not allow you to leave, and you had to go about defeating him, using magical spells, using, in some cases, his own weaponry against him. You managed to fell this monster and his elemental water weirds, which he had summoned in the pool alongside him. I'm going to really quickly turn the music down a little bit because it's too loud for me. And you are now standing at the foot of this lake. It is now a bit shallower. There's water. You all covered in water. Some of you are icy cold, having been blasted by this trident a couple of times. And resting on the ground is this trident, which some of you might see in Roll20 in the Journal tab under Handouts, and a set of armor that appears useless. It's all pieces. It's not put together in any form or fashion. It was just held together by his form. And you stand at this lake, opposite of which I mentioned was this opening where the lime scale in this cavern has built up so much over the centuries at this point that you can barely see the outlines of what look like brick on the far side. And Val and Dakota are there with you. Their players aren't here with us, but I will roleplay them as necessary if needs be. What do you do?
It's a real shame what we had to do to that suit of armor. I think I point down into the water. There seems to me maybe another chamber to visit. Isn't that right? Wasn't there another chamber? I'm not just making that up, right?
On the far side of the lake, there's a small opening that looks like it leads to just what might be a brick wall, but no, you're not certain of any other chamber.
Okay, never mind. I do point to the brick wall and I say, "There's evidence that that this used to be some kind of ancient structure, and maybe we should look around in order to see if there's any writing or anything."
And Evelyn, I will remind you, one thing that came to mind because of your character has been is Socorus was once the name of a city held by the Netherese mages, which you don't know a lot about. That's basically all you remember, but that's what you know.
Yes, and I believe Raven shared that last time.
Yes, I do believe so.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mr. Professional, so-called, don't you have an answer for everything? You seem to be able to swat down all of my theories, as you call them.
Well, what you're stating is not a theory. It's fairly obvious that there's an opening at the other end of the lake, so...
If we can get past the wall, potentially.
I'm more concerned of this trident weapon thing. I don't think it should be left here. If there was some way to take it with us without damaging it, I would like to take it with me and submit it to my agency for testing.
Okay. And then you're gonna figure out some use for it to be a super weapon, huh?
Well, I was thinking more like a wall decoration above my mantle.
Oh,
Very shiny
okay.
and pretty.
Trophyism, then, is it? That's what you all do. I knew it. I called it.
That and clearing unauthorized photographs off of websites.
I'm gonna my eyes narrow, staring at you. No, you're making it up. You don't do that.
No, not at all. Not me. Personally. Just think of it. You always have a guardian agent watching over your shoulder.
Oh, I managed to figure out the IP address of my NSA minder a long time ago. I send them little packages from around the world. Usually Alibaba, just to freak him out.
Yes, he laughs. He thinks you're cute.
I don't want to date right now. I have far more important matters. I wouldn't date an NSA minder. I don't care how cute he thinks I am.
Greg, who has been in the corner this whole time, comes up to you guys and he goes, "So, what are we doing? What did I just see? What else? Sorry, you're talking about NSA and tridents, and I just saw a man come out of the water, made of water, almost kill me.
This is just like
feeling a little
Tuesday for us.
I'm feeling a little.
So.
Wouldn't you like to know, Scuba Boy?
A couple of shots of whiskey will clear your mind. It's okay.
Name calling. We almost got murdered. What's going on?
We didn't almost get murdered. We had this well under control. Like I said, it's like a normal Tuesday for us.
That's well under control.
Yeah.
Oh, you ought to see it when it goes south.
Ah, gods, I thought that Old Faithful was a little weird underneath. I didn't think it was weird like this.
Speaking of going south, is there another way out of here that's safer than the way we came in? Do you know these caverns that well?
Give me a moment. I'll do some looking.
Like at that big opening over there, is that possibly a way out?
Yes, give me a moment. And he just puts his helmet on and just steps into the water down to the bottom of the lake and walks over to the other side and steps up.
Aren't we all tied together?
Not anymore. Not during that fight. There's no way you were tied up during that fight. It would have been crazy. He looks around and he says, "Oh, interesting. It's got a weird limescale pattern over here, but I don't see any other exits."
Knock on the walls.
Oh. Wait. Can anyone help me break open a hole here? I think that I might see a vertical chamber that leads up.
I scoop up the trident and I swim over to him.
Okay, as you grab it, your hand accidentally slips over a jewel on its hilt, and it whoosh, turns into the size of a dagger in your hands. In nearly an instant, like the force of it catches you, and you are now holding a small dagger in your hand.
Oh, convenient. I slide it in the back of my belt line or whatever, next to my other dagger.
And Adrian makes his way over. Val will follow Greg wherever he goes, doing the same thing. Dakota will look at the two of you and just give you a questioning shrug as Robert becomes a ghost. And
oh yeah, I forgot Dakota was here.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I mean, could we leave the way that we came in?
According to Greg, I bet we could, but
yeah,
if there's an easier way out, I'd certainly like to find it.
Can I investigate a mystery when I get over there?
Yeah, please. Why don't you roll to investigate a mystery? First roll of the night. Hey.
I don't find much. I rolled a 7.
I believe that means you get to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
You could do investigate a mystery. You could also do like read a bad situation in terms of like what's my best way in, what's my best way out.
Oh, is that? Where is that?
That's read a bad situation.
Well, I know, but I have to find out where it's at. There it is. It's advanced.
Physically.
Yeah, let's do that instead of investigate a mystery. It's not really mysterious.
You still get
it's
that
just
one question. Also, folks, since we are now doing rolls, we have officialized the bits donation method for Monster of the Week to include giving +1 forward to players, healing them, reducing their wounds, or possibly, if some of you want to spend a good bit of money, giving luck back to players, which is insane to even fathom giving a player luck back. There's only one class in the game that can get luck back, so it's quite the ask. But Evelyn has just dropped it in the chat, and you can see what your bits are worth if anyone wants to donate to help our players out. Anyways, you rolled a 7, and what was the question you decided on?
I mean, the most obvious one would be, what's my best way out?
Well, I can answer that.
Looking around, trying to see. Does it look like there's any way we could break through a wall safely or a crevice we haven't noticed?
Yeah, I mean, Greg brought tools with him, a hammer and pitons? I've never really landed on how to pronounce that word, so I'm gonna go with pitons. Is that crowded? Evelyn, you look like you have the right answer.
She's Googling.
She's Googling it. I think it might actually be pitons, which annoys the crap out of me. But he has some of those. You get the feeling that if you were to spend a little bit of time here, you could easily widen that hole. And looking up, you do see far above, you swear you can see some light. And the only way you're going to see light down here, it is piton?
It's piton.
Dang it. I hate that. The only way you're going to see light...
Pecan.
Exactly. From way down here is if you're somehow connected to the surface up there. So you get the feeling that widening this hole might be a quicker means of egress than going back the way you came in.
I take the Triton back out, press that little jewel again to see if it makes it pop open to a...
Pops right open to a full Triton, and it's sturdy in your hands.
Is there something I can poke up inside? And
absolutely. If you want to use that, that's totally good with me. Chandler, what were you going to say?
You know, there's been some level ups, okay?
Yeah.
And I got a fun new
level
rule.
Ups. I forgot, because we didn't do the end of mystery questions last session, because we always end at, like, the end of the game. So why don't Chandler, go on with your thing. I'm going to really quickly pull up the end of mystery questions, and we'll do that.
I think last session we got sidetracked by all the different level ups we could have done.
I got science! Which allows me to use the weird science rule. I
have a Barbie doll.
Nice. Yeah. let's use that later.
Hook that up to the jumper cables.
May be able, along with the pack that I brought, to deal with this because it can make gadgets.
Okay.
And potentially open up this strange passage if it seems to be that way.
Why don't you think about what you want to do? And I'll really quickly ask these end of mystery questions, and then we will resolve that. All right. So, did you conclude the current mystery?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, I would say so. Did you save someone from certain death or worse?
I'm pretty sure I did.
I mean, Greg, an innocent man, came down with you.
Yes.
You also saved your own lives. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Oh, yeah.
Big time, baby.
Yeah.
And did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters? I don't know if we did.
I don't think so.
But that's okay, because 3 to 4 yeses means 2 marks of experience. So, everybody mark 2 extra experience, and then if you get any level ups. What?
We did learn something. We learned I can use somebody's magical item against themselves.
True. It's not going to change the amount of XP you get, but
No,
it's still cool
asked.
that we learned. And I'm certain Val probably did some cool roleplay because Cameron's the best. If she's in chat, Cameron, you're the best. Yes, Chandler, go on.
I was just gonna ask a quick question. Evelyn, how many level ups do you have currently? Because I want to make sure I'm looking at this the right way before I continue.
Let me look. 1, 2, 3.
So this will be my third. I'll get the third move in a minute. But I rolled an 11 for weird science.
Oh,
okay?
good.
So I get to pick one requirement for the science. It's basically like a glitch. It won't. Let's see here. Okay. It won't be very reliable. So I'm gonna fish out some objects from my pouch and try and make an improvised little explosive device with a hairspray can, a pressurized little tube that it seems to be used for some kind of barometry, and a few other items that I
Should
try and
also
put
check with
together.
Val, see if she's got anything interesting in her mundane bag of tricks.
Yeah. Val will use one of her character's moves, which is oops, and she finds on the ground a nice piece of sharp flint that you could use to pierce this to cause the explosive and spark it.
Perfect. Great. I was learning. I read a few pages from the Anarchist Cookbook for purely academic reasons, and I think that this may be able to help us. Let's try it out. I'd stand back.
Dangerously close to TOS stuff here. No.
Just for my own sake, he's still on the other middle of the lake, right? He's not over here by the
No,
hole.
he is over here with you. You all are over here at this point. You're on the other side of the lake. And so you reach up and you grab some tape and try to sticky it to the really wet walls in here, and it like barely sticks on. And so you just kind of wedge it into a rock and stick it.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does it ignite? You tell me.
Yeah, so is it underwater?
No, you're up at the ceiling with this explosive.
Okay, great. I've got to... Does anybody have a lighter? I mean, Adrian, don't you always smoke or something? I swear, if you don't, you seem like somebody that would.
I mean, I
do
always
not
have a lighter
smoke.
on me.
Never.
Oh, okay.
I don't smoke, but I have a lighter because, you never know when you might need one.
Oh,
And she pulls a little Zippo lighter out of her pocket.
I think
great.
the one that smokes is Fran, or
Oh,
Val?
wait a minute. I need to think this out. Val has a golf club, right?
bent
Yeah,
one.
she does.
She did in the trunk of her car. I don't know if she brought it with her.
No, she used the golf club on the guy.
She
Yeah.
did bring it
I
down.
was a
She
little
mentioned it. Yeah.
preoccupied, so I didn't notice.
Because I look at the lighter and then realize that I'll have to hold it right against the
Yep,
the
you will.
So I'm like, I take the tape and tape it to the end of a golf club. If she's willing to let me use it.
Yeah,
to
she's
get a little
totally
extra-
down.
Yeah.
I would be playing Val a disservice if she wasn't instantly down for this idea.
So I'm gonna get it lit, and then
Do you
try
not
and
have
hold
a
it.
piece of cloth you could use as a fuse?
Nah, he's
That
got
sounds
it.
rather
This is great.
dangerous.
No,
Yeah.
this is perfect. It's not reliable.
Yeah.
And so, like, you hold it there for way longer than you were thinking, and
Yeah.
the cans outside starts to kind of crumble a little bit, like starts to melt,
Yeah.
and then you hear a really, really high pitched boom, and it just explodes, and rock shards go flying. Can you roll to act under pressure for me, really quick?
Oh,
I-
I would love to.
I am assuming everyone else got outside of blast radius
Oh
for
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
We're
I'm
around the
very
corner.
cool. This is going to be fine.
We have your
6.
back from
Ah,
over
good.
here.
You take one harm as a shard of rock enters your right cheek, and
Oh,
just
God.
sort of sits there for a second, and does not feel good.
Okay, I am currently unstable.
Then actually, okay, so it doesn't do that. It actually slides right past your neck and
Okay.
opens a wound
You're
in your neck.
joking.
Not a main artery, but you are starting to bleed, and you do need to put on suits because you're gonna maybe start to get into a pressurized / hot environment soon.
I'll see if I can fix them.
Ah, jeez, Mary.
No. Oh God, no! It didn't work. This thing's so unreliable.
I love that the battle didn't unstabilize any of you, but afterwards you make a bomb and instantly become unstable.
I mean, it tracks.
Very Mary.
No,
Okay,
I
he
swear.
lucked out.
Oh, God.
With my plus cool, I rolled a 10, so he gets 2 health back,
Sweet.
Okay,
and he's
great.
stabilized.
He is not stabilized.
With a
You
10
either
plus,
pick
the
to
patient is
stabilize him-
stabilized and healed of 2 harm.
Oh, and never mind.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, I thought the disclaimer at the beginning of the tutorial was just to scare off people from trying it. Why?
So,
They should really make that thing more blatant.
you guys, with the power of Greg, make your way out of this cavern.
By the power of
Greg. He uses his pitons. God, it doesn't have a good mouthfeel. And makes his way out of the cavern with a number of rope and pitons and hammer moments. And it takes a while. It takes you guys about 2.5 hours to make this vertical climb, taking a break at one point just to catch your breath and allow Greg to regather all of his equipment that was previously used. And you make your way to the surface, because if you remember, you were quite deep down under the surface. And it is, if you remember, you went in around noon. It is now nearing sunset, and you all are physically exhausted. None of you take unstable wounds, but all of you do take 1 harm from this trek going up, as it is just so exhausting to do so. And you are now sitting in the middle of a forest somewhere in a hot spring that is no wider than maybe 15, 20 feet across, and maybe 5 to 8 feet deep at most. And it's just this bubbling hot spring that's a bit sulfurous. You can definitely smell it if you decide to take your helmet off once you get above the surface. But it's warm, that's for sure.
Does Greg know how far away we are from the car? Or his van or whatever?
Greg looks up in the sky. You are surrounded by trees. He has no clue where he is. And he pulls out a quick map of geographic or geological goings-on within Yellowstone. You give him a moment. He checks it and he says, I've got no idea where we are.
I take out my agency-issued tablet and do a quick GPS search.
Okay.
And ping us on a map.
With your... Yeah.
It's standard technical. It's not even weird gadgetry.
It's not even
just,
weird gadgetry. I'll
just
allow
basic
that.
technology.
Yes, you have a satellite tab that connects to the nearest satellite above you. You find that you're about an hour and a half's walk from Old Faithful, which is where you left your car.
Has anybody got a snack?
Greg says,
Or do I have to kill something?
I brought a lot of gorp. You like gorp?
What?
Delicious.
He
Gorp!
was pretty funny in that show, wasn't he?
No, what?
No!
Trail mix.
It's trail mix, yes, it's gorp.
Oh,
Oats, raisins,
that sounds fun.
peanuts. What's the G in gorps? It's not grapes. There's something in there. It's good for you, that's for sure.
Granola.
Granola, that's what it is. Granola.
You
All right.
forgot what's in your own gorp?
Listen, it's store-bought gorp.
It rhymed with crap. Gorp would have rhymed.
Anyways.
It is healthy and will give us some strength as we walk back to the truck.
Yes, why don't we make the walk? And you all
will
make your
find
way
you more
back
gorp
to
when
Old
you get
Faithful,
back.
and it is sundown at this point by the time that you make it there. You see the lodge is no longer covered in the mist of the day that it was. Unfortunately, that's the only image that I have of it, but it is clearer now. Whatever mist or fog was permeating the majority of this valley has seemed to dissipate either throughout the day or because of the loss of Eris himself.
And Thomas,
And
apparently we got a raid from Trollord Games. 37 people.
Ooh.
I don't actually get sound notifications for the raids because I
I'm just
couldn't
looking
figure
at
out how to
chat,
make
so-
that
Yep.
work myself. But thank you for the raid. Oh
They
my gosh,
joined
guys.
us.
It is... Oh, did someone define gorp? Granola, oats... Okay, but granola and oats, Pat, that's like... Oh,
They're
granola
different
is
things.
oats, right? Isn't it?
No,
No.
it's more of a
Anyways,
like a
hello,
Anyway.
folks. Welcome to Monster of the Week. Stick around till the end of the stream. We are going to be giving away this beautiful copy of the Monster of the Week rulebook. Oh my gosh, it's like, it's pristine, it's gorgeous. It's got like a nice, like, almost suede leathery feel to the cover of it. It's very nice. I promise
how
you
come
will
we
enjoy
don't
it.
get a copy of that?
And, yeah, so stick around and keep watching. So, you guys make your way back to the car. It is, if I remember correctly, a pretty good drive from Old Faithful back
3
to Cody.
hours.
Yep, 2 hours,
remember
40 minutes. And you all kind of quietly, acily make your way. Yeah, whoever isn't driving is definitely asleep on the drive back.
I'm
Just the
driving,
heat
so I'm asleep.
and all that. And you make your way back to town. And at this point, we are going to do a little time skip. Nothing really occurs between now and 3 weeks into the future, which is when all of you received your various things, mystery informations, clues, let's say, that I gave you before the stream. I gave each of the players a little clue for the current mystery before the stream started. And that is where we will pick up. So you guys tell me, give me just a really kind of high-level overview, what happened during those 3 weeks, and how do you get together, where do you get together? I mean, we know it's Domenico's, but, like, why go there again? Because it sucks. The
Because you
pizza's
won't let
really
us go
good, I
to
guess.
Arby's.
And I won't let you go to Arby's, Pat. Mention that again. I swear.
I mean, he already destroyed all the Arby's.
Yep, I
in the
did. There's
town.
no more Arby's and Cody.
There's a Burger King.
And you guys sort of tell me. So let's start. Chandler looked really excited. Why don't we start with you, Mr. Grant? And what did Mary do for these 3 weeks?
Yes, Mary got a lot more familiar with tinkering with things. She did a lot of research on the ground, arguably illegal for those that are what we like to call moral realist, but for those awakened of us that are moral relativist, she did what she needed to in order to find out what was wrong in Cody, Wyoming, which we will share in a bit. And she will also decide exactly what level up she's going to pick in just a minute.
Great.
So that's an overview. I have something fun to share with you all when we meet up.
Great. All right, let's go on to Pat. What did Adrian do in this time?
So Adrian dealt with the enormous amount of red tape and agency issues that he accrued, that's the word I'm looking for, in trying to gear up for the last several missions. So he spent a lot of time shining shoes at the agency, if you would.
Okay. Do you want to
And
tell us
putting in
the things you
requisitions for-
acquired?
Huh?
Tell us about what you acquired. I'm certain people would love to know.
Well, he realized that it's probably in his best interest to have his own personal mode of transportation instead of relying on whatever passerby seems to go by and hope they got something we could all ride in. So he requisitioned a vehicle. I don't know if there's a way to show it in my screen or not.
No, it's fine. I will.
Anyway, he requisitioned a specialized vehicle that for missions that would help the team out in discerning for future mysteries. And however, what he requested wasn't quite what he got, but it still turns out to be semi-useful. So.
And could you really quickly? So he took the mobility move from the Professionals
he did.
playbook. Can you tell us what the 2 good things and 1 bad thing about your vehicle are?
I gotta scroll down there. Where? No, it's way down at the bottom. Hang on.
I think it's in our
There it is.
Discord chat or something.
Okay, mobility. You have a truck, van, or car built for monster hunting. Choose 2 good things and 1 bad thing. So the two good things that I chose were surveillance gear and concealed weapons. And the one bad thing is that it's uncomfortable. So what he requested was something that you would see in like a GI kind of monster SUV, urban assault vehicle kind of thing with all the fancy little buttons and gizmos. And what he ended up getting was a used postal utility van.
Because why in the world would they send an undercover agent an armored vehicle?
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool, that's why.
But however, he likes it because it will let him go around fairly unnoticed, but inside it has all the things that he did ask for.
Sweet.
So he's happy with it. And the uncomfortable part comes from when the team gets in it and sees it for the first time. They'll see high-tech equipment on the walls and things like that with, gizmos and gadgets and screens and all this other cool stuff. But they'll also see old school bus seats.
And not a lot of bus seats either.
And no seatbelts. Well, no, there's seatbelt, but they're literally the
legally required to have seatbelts.
Yes. And when Mary gets in, she'll notice then in the back that there's one giant seat specifically made so she has room as well.
Oh, how kind.
But it's still uncomfortable.
And Evelyn, what did Raven do in her 3 weeks?
I mean, she's been mostly sleeping because she expended a lot of energy recently. And she's been practicing switching in and out of her werewolf form. Really getting some practice in with the claws. Figuring out how to, bypass people's armor when she's fighting and monsters' armor so she can get to be a tougher fighter. And, just generally ignoring every phone call that could possibly be given to her because she doesn't want to talk to anybody right now. She's having Raven time.
Totally fair. All right. And so you all have all of these things occur, and then one of you, Adrian, receives a dossier from the PNRDC, which comes over his contractually obligated fax machine inside of his truck that he now owns. Mary, you come across hints of things that you've been detectiving, investigating for the past month or two at this point, and Raven receives a voicemail. And you all kind of decide to come together at Domenico's. It's Domenico's.
Wonderful.
All right. Cool. Why don't I move you guys over to Domenico's? And
It's just like the place we meet now.
it's just the place. And you guys tell me what happens next. Domenico says, "Oh, bring food, good food, friends. Yes, I assume you're here for late night discussions, conversations, food, eatings. I bring pizzas, zaz, as the kids calling them today, for you. It's good. Yes. Don't worry. I know I don't have ears. Won't hear la la la. Don't worry about me. I'm going to the back."
Thank you, Dominic. Can I get some tendies while you're back there?
You don't like the pizza?
No, pizza's great, but I mean, do you think I'll get full off of just a few slices of pizza?
This is a good point. You are a bigger person than most. I will make some chicken.
Oh,
for
thank you so much.
And you all now sit at your regular booth. And it is just the three of you this time. Dakota told you that she had obligations out of state that she had to go help on. Her mother and Edgar all needed to go on a small trip somewhere to deal with some stuff. And Val is busy.
Great. I will, the first thing I'm going to do...
I just said Val's out shopping.
Yeah, Val's out shopping.
Mary's going to take out a laptop and then immediately pull it open and type and slide it around and be like, "Thank you all for returning my calls. I know that it was from an unlisted number, but I was very appreciative. I did find something I wanted to show you, and I couldn't send it online because they're always watching, but I wanted you to see it here. And I just sent it in Discord if you want to pull it up, Thomas.
That is not going to work with the way I have the stream set up.
Ah, darn.
Do you have an actual thing that you made?
Yes, I did. Is there a way to click and drag it into the...
Let me, folks, don't worry about the way our faces are about to look, because it's all about to get real messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is great. This is great. Save image. Unable to save image preview. Open original. Okay, yes, this is how we'll do it. Great, great, great. I have it up. I have it up. Oh, this is good.
There we go.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is good.
I put together this little presentation to hopefully explain it in very simple terms, okay? Let's start. We all know rodents, squirrels, beavers, rats. They know something that they aren't telling us. Trust me, I've asked, and they aren't talking, all right? They are coming around from all of Yellowstone into the southeast part of the park. Here's the problem, okay? Rodents don't migrate. At least these ones don't. Why are beavers leaving their dams? Answer me that. If you built such a fine home, you wouldn't want to leave it. Problem number 2. You see those bugs? Those are pine beetles. They show up in winter. It's November. Last time I checked, it wasn't winter, even if the government's trying to tell you it is. And then...
It is winter. That's the problem. It's November now.
Yeah. That too? That's also the problem.
It's just Mary fully misinterpreted what I mentioned to her.
Yeah. And then, get this. Suzanne's missing. How do you lose a bear that you have GPS tracking? She's been sick. They've been following her for weeks, trying to make sure she's okay, but she's gone. Somebody would have had to take out the GPS. What are they doing with Suzanne? How does it connect with the rodents? I can tell you. I've tracked it down. Do you remember the birds that we saw over when we were fighting the bullet? The vultures. You thought they were vultures. They were bigger than that. These were protecting what I have found with triangulation. Hippocrates coming in again to help out from across the eons. Table Mountain perfectly sits in the middle of all of our issues. However, I can also potentially, if it's not that specific one, we have Coulter Peak, Pliny, Coops Peak, and Eagle Peak. One of these, I believe,
those are all peaks on the range of Table Mountain, by the way.
Great, wonderful, that too. And
thank you, disassociated voice.
Yeah.
Crew.
Yes. The thing is that this is in the southeastern section of the park, where the rodents might be going. Why are they meeting there? What are they discussing? Listen, we need to get to the bottom of this and figure out why the birds are involved and what they're doing with Suzanne. It's unfair.
What are they discussing? So that's Mary's.
When you're by yourself.
What? I'm sorry, I was too busy talking with myself. I couldn't hear you.
You called us together because a bear is missing and there are too many bugs in the forest?
Well, you're not listening to me. There's so much more at stake here, okay? The rodents from across multiple states are meeting to discuss, okay? And we don't know. If they're coming to get us, we need a preemptory strike, okay? Whatever's happening at that mountain, we need to be at the bottom of, or the top of it, because you get the point, okay? Listen, you probably know something, don't you?
I know several things that you don't want to hear any of.
Tell me I'm wrong,
Just simply because of the things we have experienced in the past, the recent past. I am not going to just completely dismiss this. If you could give a little more substantive evidence of what you're trying to prove to us, and does it relate to something more specific than just a general end of the world apocalypse theory?
No, I doubt the rodents want the end of the world. I mean, you can't rule the world if it's ended.
How do the insects correlate with the missing bear?
So here's the thing, all right? I spent several nights counting pine beetles, all right, to make sure they were within their proper counts. There's too many of them, okay? Very strange. You would think that the pine beetles would go down in population with the increase in rodents, but they aren't, okay? So they're not here to eat. They're not here for good food. there is some ecological disaster that's impending, and it's all centered at Table Mountain. Okay, and I don't know what the bear has to do with this, but whoever took Suzanne is going to pay for it, because the fact that a GPS tracker was taken out of a bear, that's fishy, and you know it. Come on, back me up on this.
How do you know that it was taken out of her and it just didn't stop working?
Oh, you really think they'd let a GPS on a sick bear stop going?
Have you
You
seen
think
the
they'd
blood?
leave Suzanne out there just to die? You're a cold, cold man.
I'm pretty sure Suzanne can live without a tracker in there. But you're suggesting that the bugs and the rodents are coming away from a danger and not toward a danger, which is what we've been finding here are threats in this area.
Yes, they could have been summoned by some greater power.
Oh, now they're summoned. Okay. So they're not
Well,
running from something. You're saying something is pulling them here.
I think so. I mean, it's less likely that there's danger coming in from the periphery. Okay, they aren't here because of the bugs for the good eating. Like I said, they're here for a reason. They were likely summoned, if not by members of their own council, by some greater power. Okay, whatever power has interest in Suzanne.
Can you please stop referring them to as an occult?
A cult?
Okay, the supreme power of rodents. I mean,
no,
we're
the
not
higher
playing
power.
some tabletop game here. Okay,
Listen,
if you have a point, please make it.
The tabletop games are historical. All right, they aren't fantasy.
Yes, I find them quite amusing. They're very hysterical.
You need to start taking me seriously, Suit. Raven,
I'm trying
you know
to,
I'm
but
not
you
lying.
keep saying things that just don't add up to what you're trying to say.
How about you play your
I'm getting
card?
the gist. I am getting the gist that you feel there is a threat, and you would like to investigate it.
Here, all right, Mr. Cop. How about you stop asking questions and start talking? All right. I bet you know something. I bet you're willing to share it. And
Yes,
Raven, I mean, you know something weird's going on.
The pizza's cold.
You're still muted, Devil.
Yeah, I know. I haven't said anything yet. That was a little overwhelming. Like, yeah. All right. So, like, well, I actually got a voicemail today. So, you know, people, I don't know who answers their phone anymore, but like, someone left me a voicemail. So, yeah, here it is. And she like lifts her phone up and she puts it on speaker and then starts playing the message back that she received.
I can't play this for you guys. So, Evelyn, can you send the file to them in the general chat really quick, and then I'm gonna play it for the stream.
I can definitely try.
Right.
I can certainly try.
Certainly.
Let me pull it up from where you sent it to me. I gotta find it real quick.
Because
there it is.
you know, maybe I can play a file.
You should be able to.
I think I can play a file over this. Give me 1 second, folks. We're working with new technology. Let me look it up. Look at this.
Here on the
Upload on the internet. This is Monster of the Week.
Here you go. This is there it is.
I think I might get it to go.
I put it in general if you can't.
Okay. No.
God, I've been taken from the screen. I'm in some oubliette.
I know. I'm sorry.
I have to mention.
All right.
It hurts.
So you guys listen to that really quick. I'm going to turn down the music for everyone on the stream and play the voicemail.
Friday, 5:58 p.m.
Hey.
Nope.
It's me, JR, the guy you saved a few months back. I wanted to say thank you. I know I never reached back out, but that's because some man came by and... Anyways, I was wondering though, since you saw the bear, and I haven't heard from it since, perhaps you could help me with something else. Same spot you saved my hide. Meet me tonight. Bring your crew too. They seem like they had a solid set of heads on their respective shoulders. Not that they wouldn't be on the correct shoulders. Oh, anyways.
All right. I have successfully played the voicemail. For the people who didn't hear it, because I'm sorry, I'm a bad DM, it was JR calling Raven, because it's the only number he managed to find, asking for help. He said to meet in the clearing where you saved his hide, and that he has something for you to investigate, and he said to bring the crew. That he said that you guys have a solid set of heads on your respective shoulders.
Not that they wouldn't be on the right set of shoulders.
And then he hung up.
JR is the guy that lost his leg with the
Yes,
bullet,
he is the
right?
guy who you saved from
We're going back over there.
femoral blood loss over the loss of his leg.
Yeah, so that's like, I mean, an awkward voicemail, but he seems to want us to like come help him again. So that's a thing.
That one was the fake bear expert, right?
Yeah, the silverback gorilla bear.
Well, he wasn't a
Yeah.
bear expert. He was the pine beetle and
Mhm.
tree rust expert.
Yeah.
The bear expert was
Maybe
Alice
helpful
Riley, who
related to the
Yes.
Beetles situation that you currently find yourself in, actually, Mary.
Yes, I wonder if Alice and him are doing well together. Last I heard, there was a burgeoning love interest there. If so, we might be able to get to talk with her and figure out what happened to Suzanne. She's the real bear expert, not some hack like JR.
It is at this point, after that voicemail is played, that a rattle comes at the door of Domenico's. And Domenico, you hear something rack from the back room, and Domenico walks into the main dining room with a big shotgun in his hands. And he
A turtle with a shotgun.
Yeah, he walks up to the front door and grabs the blinds and peers through them. And Robert, aka Chuck, you see the eye of a reptilian creature in front of you, eye you, and then he cracks the door open. He says, "We are closed for night."
I'm looking for Dakota.
She's not here.
What do you mean she's not here? She's supposed to be here. Her mother sent me.
I mean, the last that I heard, she was out of state. Dominic, can you put the shotgun down for a minute? It's a little intimidating.
You tell him I have a door, no show shotgun. You give all card to man. In
Okay.
Yes, I will put shotgun away. Jeez.
Okay. Hello, sir. Yeah, she's out of state, but we might be able to help you. We saw her not too long ago.
So you're her companions, huh?
Is that the word she used? I guess so.
Well, I don't know what else to call you.
I'm Raven.
We've been called worse.
I'm Chuck. And you see before you a man just about, maybe just a smidge over 6 feet tall. He looks like he just stepped out of a Old West cosplay, complete with long, dark leather duster, full-on cowboy hat, and a gun belt with a revolver, old-fashioned revolver on it, that seems to have some kind of markings, a little bit that you can see of it in the holster. He's got a very serious look on his face. He doesn't strike you as necessarily the most personable of people.
Adrian and Raven, you both instantly recognize the carvings that are along the sides of his gun as arcane runes of some sort. So this man is obviously knowledgeable about what's going on.
You said both I and Adrian do?
No, Raven and Adrian.
Okay.
You
Heard.
have
No,
not made it
no,
clear to me
nothing,
that you've
Jon
done much
Snow.
research into that.
No, I have not.
That's a interesting gun you have there.
I like to think so.
You make it yourself, or you bought somewhere?
Well, I bought the gun. The interesting parts are all mine, though.
So are you like part of Dakota's or like organization or whatever?
wouldn't say that. Well, let's just say there's been a mess around here, hasn't there? Could feel it go up. That bubble went up. What, 3 weeks ago?
He's talking about the Smith Mansion, the bubble of divination protection.
Oh, okay.
Been trying to track you all down since.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about right.
I've definitely had some interesting encounters lately.
One or two.
Mm.
And you say Dakota sent you to find us?
Well, she thought, actually, her mother thought that maybe I could be of some assistance. So she sent me looking for Dakota.
Well, I'm under the impression Dakota was with her mother.
Mm-hmm. And Edgar.
Did I mention I've been having a hard time trying to find all of you?
Well, you know,
I'd
we've
hope
been
so.
sort of doing our own thing for a couple of weeks. It's been a little, you know.
Did her mother say anything in specific as to what she needs help with?
Well, I had some business. What was his name again?
Edgar.
Elliot. Edgar.
Which was John's character a couple of sessions back, if you guys remember.
Oh, yes. I can't forget Edgar.
I had a meeting with Edgar to well, he helped me out a bit, and you know, with everything going on, speaking to Dakota's mother, she said that, you know, thought maybe I could be of some assistance. I've some expertise in these matters.
Well, you've taught me one thing already, which is the Domenico's seems to be the weak spot in me trying to keep myself off the radar. Because if it took you this long and you found me at Domenico's, that says something.
Dominic walks right up to the table and he just looks at you and he says, "Domenico's no weak spot. Domenico's safe spot."
I look at him. It's like, all right, Dominic. Okay, all right. This guy's just really good.
That is right. You keep in mind me, Domenico. Safe.
Did it occur
safe
to you
like
that I might
shell
just
on back. Safe.
Yeah, that's right.
Our friend could probably use something to drink. He looks a little thirsty. Could you bring him something, please?
We have Coca-Cola products. Sorry if Pepsi fan. What do you like?
Dr. Pepper, then.
There are people who are fans of Pepsi.
You're not fan of the Pep?
No.
We can remain close acquaintances for now, but friendship will not happen if that does not become the case. He walks away and grabs you a fountain Dr. Pepper. And we have thus brought in a number of brand names to this here stream.
Not as good as Arby's, but it does okay.
A Dr. Bib is not even like the right
Dr.
off-brand
Burper. I brought you a Dr. Burper.
Did your character give his name already, Rob? I may have missed that one.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck. Okay. Well, Chuck, you look a little outdoorsy. Is that safe to say?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Well, I mean, you look like you'd be at home in Montana, you know, tending to the livestock or something. Like an old-fashioned cowboy right out of a spaghetti western or something like that.
Well, his appearance aside, Chuck, do you have any other things to tell us as to what we might be needing your assistance with? So right now, I don't understand. We haven't seen each other for almost 3 weeks, so if something has come up, do you know of it?
I need your help with that.
So the book you were given relates directly to Sikoris and Robert. Why didn't you read the entire novel of text wall that I sent you in the past?
In the
what like
in
the 15 minutes of prep that you had before the stream? A lot of it has to do with
hey, Val's in chat.
There are these creatures. Hey, Cameron. Called Faerim, which are ancient enemies of the Netherese and likely had something to do with the downfall of Sikoris, which you have done a little bit of research into and know the name of. You don't know anything physically about it because you didn't go with them to fight Eris, but you do know about these creatures and their ability to enslave and control lesser beings and cause general evil and darkness and things in an area around them. And you are also aware of kind of the goings-on. You were camping in the park for the weeks before this. You've been here camping for a while now, and you've seen the movement of rodents. You've seen pine beetle and white pine rust increasing in certain areas of the park. You have theories, but nothing solid.
So Chuck walks over. I'm assuming they're all sitting at a table.
Yes, they're at a booth, a round booth.
There's a spot for Chuck.
I'll do the
Plenty
pizza.
of room for Chuck. Chuck, come have seat. Show us this
Chuck
book
walks
you
over.
We've stuck like 5 people at this booth before. We've got plenty of room for everybody else.
Dominicos booth guarantee holds 7 people of regular human size. We deal with, Mary sometimes
And
make
I'm,
numbers change, but
5.
that is fine. And we have Raven,
5.5.
numbers change. It's fine. It's fine.
Chuck sits down and checks the table. I mean, we are in a pizza joint, so he makes sure that there's like no oil on the table or, grease that from not being wiped down.
Yeah, it's fairly clean.
And
Dominic runs good shop here.
The best shop.
puts a big, old-looking leather tome on top of the table and starts thumbing through it, trying to find the relevant pages that had, as far as that he had translated so far.
Yes.
With regards to the Faerun.
Okay, so there's nothing on the cover of the book that we would notice that actually says the word Saccharus or whatever.
No, but you do recognize the etchings and design on the front of the book look extremely similar to the one that Edgar was given by Kateri. The one that Buffalo Bill once owned. A tome that was passed down through ages upon ages of members of Freemasons, and on the cover of it you see a Freemason symbol.
Go on, Chuck. We are interested. You have our attention.
The Faerun. Let's see. Well, let me ask you this: what do you know so far? Because there's a lot here.
Oh, I have a presentation to share.
No,
that's okay.
I can kind of sum up what we know, maybe. So like we found underneath Old Faithful, like there's a guardian in the city of Sepphoris and like Ancient City and like the mage guys. Yeah. Very important.
Yeah. You summarize what is known.
Familiar and similar to the things we have been encountering, so if you have something to share about it, we're definitely interested.
I mean, first of all, you're dealing with something that's just pretty evil and sadistic. These Faerun are ambitious, malicious creatures.
Well, yes, but if you ignore Mary, it's okay.
And you were also aware that they can use magic. They have a big stinger on their body. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that they do that might line up with other things that are going on.
Yeah. They also like to enslave other creatures and force them to do various tasks.
Chuck, are you saying that there's some higher entity that enslaves lower entities?
I think he's saying that
I think that's what I just said.
You heard it, Adrian. I'm not crazy. He came in here at the right time to prove me right. There's something higher going on with these rodents, okay? No wonder they're so scared.
I'd like to point out that I did not say that you're not crazy.
I did not argue with him either, but
I don't know you well enough to make that assessment yet.
No, you'll learn just how sane I am.
But this added information corroborates what you took such a long time to try to spit out, that something is indeed making the rodents and smaller animals of the forest move against their nature.
You know who might have answers for that? JR. And he called us to, get us to go see him. So I think probably we should go see him
It's probably
and
time
maybe
for a
get some answers.
So many of you seem so not concerned about Suzanne.
We,
I mean, one, we
this
can
probably
actually
ties Suzanne in somehow.
Suzanne.
I'm sure if we
So,
find.
maybe if we figure out answers 1 and 2, we can figure out answer 3.
I hope
Maybe.
so.
We are not forgetting about Suzanne, but we got to start somewhere.
She's
small,
a mother. Just think of the kids, okay?
But we start small and work our way to the bigger. So let us go find out what is pushing the small forest creatures to and where they are pushing them to.
Okay, all right.
So I say we take a trip out to JR.
Everyone cool with that?
The short person.
Raven.
I forgot your name. Raven, sorry.
The short person.
Yeah, Raven.
I was going to call you Ida, but...
You can only call Thomas that.
Shut up! This is my stream. I won't have that on.
Track of them all. Raven, do you have a number to call JR back and to set up a meeting with him? Or is he just hanging out?
She goes back to her phone and she goes back to the voicemail, and above the voicemail that she left, she sees a number. So she goes,
Yeah, I think that should be this one that's attached to the voicemail.
You
so
could
she
call
just
him. He did
clicks
say
the
that
little
he would
keypad
just
and dials
meet
it.
you in the same spot. He did
Just
say
text
that
and say
tonight
we're
he's
on our
waiting
way.
in the same
it was
spot.
it was in the voicemail.
Yeah.
He said he'd meet us, but
Just
we
give
can
him a
I
quick
can call
text, say, hey,
on the
we're
way
on our
to let him know. Yeah, I'll let him know we're on our way.
Okay.
And give him if you let him know we're coming, then he could prepare and then lay a trap potentially if he's already been corrupted by
Mary,
whatever
would
these
you
evil
like to go
things
with
are.
us, or would you like to stay here?
Well, I mean, I'm not going
He's
to miss
already
out.
been through so much. I don't think he's going to be setting any traps for us. The poor man, he got like half eaten by a bullet. Let's maybe give him the benefit of a doubt.
And think, he has so much to gain because of that. What if this thing could regrow limbs?
Yes, he
And Raven just kind of hops out of the booth and starts walking toward the door
Yeah.
Come on.
Thomas, what time of the day is it?
It is getting toward afternoon.
So we've
I'd say
got
about
time to
2
drive
o'clock.
So we've got time to drive out. Or it's
Yeah.
only like 40 minutes from
Yeah,
here.
it's only about a 40-minute drive or so. You
Dominic.
Oh.
I was gonna say, Dominic, can I get a large Dr. Burper to go, please?
Yes, I have soda for day. It comes in bag syrup. Make it. Did you know this? This is how fountain work. It's
It's all a
syrup
bit
bag
of a
mixed with
scam.
soda water. I thought it was just magical
I looked at
spellings
the
that
other
make
two, and I
the.
was like, well, while they're sorting that out, come follow me. I have transportation now.
And
Oh,
you all get what you
Dominic.
need.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, and before I go, you have those packages I got sent here, right? I didn't want them sent to my home address.
You'll have to tell me, Thomas, what you are referring to.
They're just some. It's just a narrative excuse for some of the weird science that I will be doing later.
Yes, half package. It's safe address to send to anonymous. Yes, in back.
Good. I was worried you'd say no, but you seemed really to understand the concept of having a dummy address to send it to. So
Yes,
I
it's
appreciate
smart. You told me all about this, and I now have 0.025 Bitcoin, which is apparently equal to about $6.50.
No, you'll want to get Doge. Bitcoin isn't where the money's at. I gotta be honest.
You tell me Doge. I look up tonight. I will do this.
Good. All right. You need to diversify your crypto investments. Anyways, I gotta go.
Okay. Raven, you make the call to JR, and you try him one time, it goes straight to voicemail. You try him again, and it gives you a busy signal, almost as if he doesn't have service wherever he's at right now. If it's a personal
so then
phone...
She just texts them.
Okay.
And just leaves them a hey, we're on our way.
Yeah, it just says delivered. It doesn't
Raven.
say sent or whatever. It says sent. It doesn't say delivered, as if it's just not going through right now. All right, and you guys make your way out to the clearing where the previous events occurred. And I believe I don't have the map for that anymore, but we'll go with this. And you all make your way out to a road, a side road that leads up the side of a mountain for a ways. It is gravel, to a large circular clearing of trees where in front sits the classic park ranger truck with the Yellowstone National Park logo on the side of it. And you see sitting on the hood is Alice Riley, and leaned up against the side of it, you see JR. He's holding a prosthetic leg in his hands, and when he sees you guys come up, he sets it in place and kind of slowly hobbles his way toward where you guys are as you park your car. He gives a wave as he waits for you guys to exit your vehicle.
Just so we're clear, Adrian, that has got to be some of the most uncomfortable padding that you could have chosen.
I did not get to choose. I just asked for vehicle.
I would really, whoever you bought this from, I would really recommend.
I will buy you air mattress for your butt.
Well, that's fine. I just, for your own safety, I think they really like scammed you. So I think you should talk to them and submit a complaint.
That's okay. It gets the job done. So
okay.
Yeah, it is not a comfy ride at all.
At least it got us here.
All right, and you guys hop on out, walk over to JR, and he says, "Oh, howdy," and he reaches down for the leg that holds the prosthetic. He says, "Who's that?"
Last Chuck.
I broke you.
This is Chuck. He is an acquaintance of Dakota.
You see this
Her mother.
half-orc man with a flop of brunette hair wearing a park ranger outfit walk up to you. He sort of hobbles, sticks his hand out. JR. Right up to you, Chuck.
Chuck.
Well, it's good to meet you. If they vouch for you, that's good enough for me. Listen, come on around the truck. Alice is a little beaten up about it. And you guys walk past Alice. Wow,
No.
Background music is getting really loud. You see in the clearing ahead, dead center in the middle of it, a large Kodiak bear laying dead in the middle of the field.
Well, there's one mystery solved.
Suzanne!
Alice comes up behind you and just gives you a hug from behind and says, You knew Suzanne?
Yes, more than you'd ever know.
I don't want to know.
I have never seen you in taking care of Suzanne before.
No, I would just stalk her on GPS. Listen, that's not.
Sorry,
He
you
should
have
have
access to park. Never mind. Just JR, show him. And JR walks you guys over to the far side of the bear from where the cars are. And as the sun is starting to get a little bit lower, it's starting to cast shadows over a majority of this area. And you guys, because it is November at this point, and so, sunset is later and later, or earlier and earlier. And you hear a twig snap in the trees, and in an instant, from JR's prosthetic, he pulls a sawed-off shotgun out and points it into the woods in the direction of the sound that he heard. Did you all hear that?
I also pull out my dagger, my knife, my big knife.
Yeah, as that happens, Chuck pulls out his revolver, and you watch as his thumb quickly moves it a dial down,
So
as if he's picking a particular chamber.
I'll pull
And it's
out
like
my
way too
flashlight.
quick. You quick draw it so fast.
Yeah, I'll fumble in my bag and pull out a flashlight.
Yeah, Maglite.
Yeah.
It's still daylight.
Raven
isn't
goes Wolfie.
Oh, going Wolfie. Chuck's
didn't you-
first
didn't you-
time seeing that.
You said it was 2 in the afternoon. It only took 40 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
It's only
Oh.
like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. I still do what I did out of like dumbness. That's instinct.
Very
You grab it
helpful.
out, but you
We
don't
can
grab
much
it
better now.
for light purposes. You grab it for hitting purposes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go with that one. Go with
And
that one.
JR
Totally.
says,
Turn the beam off.
He just waits for a bit. You guys don't hear anything, and then a deer quietly enters the clearing, looks up at you guys, perks its head, and then JR puts the shotgun back and it runs off into the distance.
No, I'm gonna yell at it. What do you know? What are you hiding from us?
It just keeps running.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I'm
wait.
just gonna
It
scream.
can actually. This is interesting because this is the first time you've ever tried to speak with animals. You have the ability to do that. It stops for a second, perks its head up, and looks around at you, and then just runs away.
Coward! Coward! You can't cover for them. We're going to find out what happened here.
JR says, "Sorry, I'm a little jumpy after the incident. I'm certain you can understand. Listen."
We're sorry too, but we had to bring her.
JR just chuckles. Yeah. Well, Mary's useful for her things, I have to imagine. Listen, I know y'all are special, and I know that your organization has told me to keep my mouth shut, and I have promised to do so. Mr. Adrian, I am at your behest today. I am putting myself up for the government to process me in whatever ways they want. Listen, you need to know about this.
But you're fine. Just I'm assuming you have something you would want to tell us.
Mary, you were talking about Suzette. This ain't Suzette.
This isn't Suzanne?
No, but this is a similar bear. Alice is still choked up about it because, you know, she loves bears. But just come look. And he pulls you around to the other side of the bear, and you see on the far side of it, near its stomach cavity, a massive hole that looks like it's been eaten away by acid and poison, and a bit of goo is exiting from it. And it sits there lifeless. It doesn't have any other marks on it, save for one bite mark on the side of its head that looks like it came from like a shark or something with like lots of teeth.
Oh no, this is awful. I can't imagine if Suzanne isn't safe, then this could happen to her. Oh god.
Suzanne's GPS went out a couple days ago. Yes, please roll to investigate a mystery.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, you get one question.
And the question is going to be... Oh, wait, where'd it go?
Remember, you guys can also read a bad situation, do other things here. I would think that would make sense for Chuck, who seemed very ready to check out to see if the place was bad. Read a bad situation for Robert. Allows you to learn certain things that a hunter would know in a situation that you, a player, might not know right now. So, like, what threats have we not noticed? What's the best way to protect these victims? And there are answers that I have to give you honestly. You just roll to see it.
No, the question I'm going to be asking is, what can hurt this large bear like that?
That's a really good question. You go up to it and you use a little bit of your medical tools to do a little pH test, among some other things. The goo you can touch with your hands. It is non-acidic.
No, I have gloves.
No, I mean that you learn that you could if you wanted to. However, the wounds on the bear show that it was extremely toxically poisoned, and the goo is lightly yellow and smells rank, but a little sweet. But the most interesting thing that you can detect is there are no maggots anywhere on the corpse. Nothing has taken a bite or a nibble out of this thing, sitting in an open clearing, totally safe. And it seems like it's been dead for days.
Do you know just how long this bear has been dead?
Alice walks up and she sort of pats JR on the back and says, "We haven't been tracking that one. We just happened to find it on a routine check of the park."
How long ago?
We found it a couple hours ago. That's why we called.
Because it looks like he's been... It is a he, right?
Hard to tell in its current position. Yeah.
It looks like...
Unless you want to roll over a Kodiak bear.
Yeah. Seems like it's been dead a very long time. It's beyond past rigor mortis, but there's no sign of decay or...
Alice pipes up, she says...
Feasting... Anything like that.
It's been dead for approximately 12 days, from what I was able to determine.
Yeah. And it has not decomposed any. It's almost as if it's preserved.
It seems like the things that naturally decompose don't want to go anywhere near this.
So, question: how much do I know about the Farum beyond what I have in the text?
You know that they have a stinger. So Farum look like a windsock. They look like a flying windsock, like a. If you were to take a scorpion, but turn it long ways, and its arms are around its mouth, which is the opposite end of the tail. It's like a windsock with arms and just teeth going into its gullet, and it ends in a long pointed stinger and it just naturally flies. It has these small, like, insect-like wings or scales along its body that allow it to move along the wind. And you know that its poison is potent. And you know that it also, through its stinger, has the ability to implant eggs into what it kills to attempt to regrow or reproduce.
Okay, so the wound that we're looking at, does the wound look, as far as you said, it's got basically a hole where its stomach was?
Yeah.
Does it look like the hole was pushed from, basically, was inside out?
It does not. That is a very good question. It looks like it was outside in. So, deducing that, you get the impression that it might have tried to plant eggs in this, and it might have been unsuccessful in doing so.
Okay.
Assuming this is what you think it is. It could be any other number of... Yeah.
Well, and can I ask another question?
Yes, and one thing I will say is the book that you have happens to speak a lot about Faerûms, specifically because they were enemies of the Netherese Wizards.
Right. Because I'm not 100% sure that it is the Faerûm yet, Chuck looks down and examines the venom residue and tries to determine whether, is this actually from a Faerûm.
Okay. Roll to investigate a mystery, which is plus sharp.
Plus sharp. Is it 2d6?
2d6 plus sharp.
No way we can help him on a roll, right?
You could absolutely help him, but we'll see what his result is.
That's an 8 total.
So helping him wouldn't make a difference because you can only add up to +1. With an 8, you get to ask one question from a list of questions. I will make your question, what sort of monster is it, or what sort of creature is it?
Yeah, creature, yeah.
I think that's a good question to ask. It is one that has a potent poison. That is as much as you can deduce from this, because Faerûm have not been seen for centuries, if not millennia, and you don't know. You simply have no way of telling the difference. You could take a sample, and maybe Edgar's house has a alchemical lab in it, which you were given a key to Edgar's house before he left on his trip. So you could do some testing there.
I suppose I have gear with me for taking a sample.
I think you would. I don't see why you wouldn't.
Okay.
You're a monster hunter by trade, so.
Yeah, he starts working with pulls out a little glass, receptacle, and starts scraping some of the goop into it before sealing it.
Yeah. Thomas, Mary is wide-eyed and looking around at the scene of this awful travesty to not Suzanne. She will also attempt a investigate a mystery and gets an 11. As she looks at these two and kind of tries to piece together what they aren't noticing.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: nobody ever looks in the margins. They ever tell you that? Where did it go? So I'm looking around at the ground and the branches nearby to see if there's snapped branches, that kind of thing, scratches on trees.
I like this.
There may have been a struggle.
You look and you find the bear's tracks. They have been, there's been rain since, and at least one snowfall that's melted. So they're hard to find, but you do eventually find what looks like some movement in the grass that leads to the edge of the clearing. and you follow it out a little bit into the brush, not terribly far, to find a couple of snapped branches and no other footprints than the bears.
What is being concealed here as I look down at the snap branches and kind of follow them up?
What is being concealed here? Okay. You follow up the snapped branches and you see more further up that kind of lead in a direction. And as you look through these snapped branches, they line up perfectly and you can see Eagle Peak in the distance.
So it seems like whatever it was may have flown or moved through arboreally and gotten up to the canopy towards the peak.
That is a very good deduction.
Wonderful. I'm going to say, hey guys, you're gonna want to see this, as I just point up through kind of like the hole in the branches towards the peak.
What'd you find, Mary?
Look, it's the peak. Which peak you said?
Eagle Peak.
Eagle Peak, the one I mentioned on the Table Mountain range. I knew it. I knew it. Those horrible, whatever is controlling the rats, they must have Suzanne. If we don't hurry, they could do awful things. Like they did to that bear back there. Suzanne's already mother. She doesn't need any more eggs in her.
Mary just doesn't know how mammals work.
You know that bears don't lay eggs, right?
Then another reason not to have any in the bear.
That's a valid point. Yeah, we should probably go check that out.
Thank you, Raven. I feel like nobody around here listens to me.
So, judging by the broken foliage and the line that it seems to come straight from that peak, we're looking for something that can possibly fly? Does this sound familiar to you, Chuck? Anything in particular that can stab a bear that with a hole like that and fly? Does the book mention anything?
Faerûn do naturally fly.
Yeah, they can fly. That would not be a problem for them.
Goodness.
I'm asking Chuck if he has a clue for us from the book.
Oh, other than the fact that Faerûn can fly?
Well, I mean, so far he hasn't actually said anything about the Faerûn to us in the book. He's asked you about what was in the book and how they operated. So I'm asking him, does he want to disclose that to us now? That he might think it could be this and not something else that he was looking at.
1 second. No, I did mention some of it back at Domenico's.
Yeah, you mentioned the possibility of it, but your a lot of your theories are being confirmed currently.
I mean, they can definitely, as far as I'm aware, they can fly. They also have this nasty stinger that you don't want the business end of. I can tell you that much.
Oh no!
Do we know what they look like? Something we can keep an eye out for?
Like a great winged beast?
Well, a great winged beast could be just about anything.
I mean, the first thing that would come to mind is a flying scorpion, but maybe not.
Oh, God!
Wait. You said flying scorpion? What would this flying scorpion look like?
You got to understand, these things haven't been seen in some 500 years.
I know, but I have reason for asking. Can you detail a little better what flying scorpion might look like?
Where is that?
Windsock is a good word.
I'm still not entirely sure what a windsock is.
You don't know what a windsock
Those are like
looks
those floppy things at the gas stations.
It's like imagine a cone made of fabric that has a hole at one end to allow you to determine which way the wind is coming from on a pole.
You see them at the end of airport runways sometimes.
Okay.
It looks kind of like a flying scorpion.
But without wings and a stinger.
Yeah.
That's a very, very interesting thing to describe a creature. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they're not very good looking.
But I'm gonna assume that that's how you described it. I guess is hold on
Yeah.
1 second, and I go back into my vehicle, and I come back out with a piece of paper. It's a fax, and you guys can just basically see the word Central Intelligence on it.
Yeah.
It's
got a
like,
coffee
I
stain.
received this fax before we all met, but it didn't make sense to me.
I knew you were holding out for me.
Yes, I know lots of things you don't know, but apparently a homeless man was attacked and poisoned, and the creature he describes matches what you are describing, a kind of long wind-socked flying creature with a scorpion tail. Pieces are starting to come together now. I think that maybe we are onto something and we should investigate this further, and so we will need to go to this mountain and see.
Adrian, keep your voices down. The rodents could be listening to us.
I'm going to slap the crap out of you.
You think I'm joking, but they're always listening.
What do you say? Do we want to try to head up there tonight, rest here for the night, and head out fresh in the morning? I think this is worth investigating, and I will need to talk to my superiors.
How many hours of daylight do we have left?
You've got about an hour of daylight left, especially up here on the mountain.
I'm thinking we're not going to get up there before nightfall, and we don't want to be facing this thing in the dark.
Probably not.
Alice.
So, JR, Alice, would it be possible for us to crash in the ranger station tonight and try to get a fresh start in the morning and see what this thing is?
JR says, I can do you one better. Alice and I recently purchased a cabin out here on the park lands. We'll hold you
together.
That will work.
Alice just blushes, and JR says, "Yeah, together."
Yeah, that's okay.
It was a financially
together.
It was a financially sound investment, and Alice just slaps him on the back.
Yeah, no, I look between Alice and him and say, whatever you need to tell yourself. Men are always just really hesitant to move in. Good for you, Alice. By the way,
she smiles and just gives you a hug.
Raven, you can probably unwolf. I don't think we're in any immediate danger right now.
Yeah, I like to be prepared.
Yeah, but we're going to bed.
By the way, Alice.
I prefer to sleep in wolf form sometimes. It's very comfortable.
You do you.
Alice, you had access to the GPS of the bears. You're a bear expert. Where was Suzanne last located? Where was she? Which direction was she going?
She was located near Buffalo Bill Reservoir. I'm not exactly sure how far from there, but we only update pings once every 2 days.
Speaking of Buffalo Bill, is that something we should try to get any information from, or is he a dead end to us at like this point?
Well, he's the deadest end I've ever heard of.
Information-wise.
In terms of information, you do know Buffalo Bill is only available at the exact start and end of every day, dusk and dawn.
Yeah, you said we've got about an hour of light left.
Yes. So you could head home, talk to Bill, and then head to this cabin, stay the night in the park.
Yeah, we could go get some Dr. Burpers and some chips.
And
some marshmallows.
Not to interrupt Super here, but we just did get a raid from Out of Alignment RPG, so thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, guys. The raids are off the hook. Thank you, guys. And let me tell you, we're having a lot of fun here, folks. And we are about to go on a break because I do need to go to the bathroom very, very bad. But stick around for after the break because we're going to be giving this sucker away. Today we are playing, for those of you who are joining us, Monster of the Week, one of my favorite tabletop RPGs, based on Powered by the Apocalypse dice system, and we are having just a blast. So please, stay tuned. We are really quickly going to go to a break, if that's all right with you other players. I think that's a good breaking point. While you guys hop back in the van, make your way back to town, and we will pick back up with our discussions with the ghost of Buffalo Bill.
Sweet.
Nice.
Cool. All right. I will be right back, folks. You are still heard by our people, so have some fun.
Cool. I wonder if
Yeah,
ivermectin
shells are
works
good.
on Nephirim eggs.
Farum eggs, but good try.
Farum, yeah. Spooky stuff, Chuck. Spooky stuff.
I do my best.
Oh, I love to come back to Chandler just sitting there looking weirdly in a hat on top of his headphones. Hi, folks.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna pull up chat really quick. My wife is playing video games with friends right now. I can't both live stream and pull up the stream at the same time, or quality's gonna go down. So I have to like occasionally pull up chat. But I hope everyone's doing fine. I know that we just went to a break. I'm sorry for all the people who raided just to get an instant break, but thank you to everyone who is subbing and following. I saw it was Doc Shoulder just popped up. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate your follows and subs. And remember, if you do have some leftover bits that you want to help our players out with, you do absolutely have the ability to donate those and have an effect on the game live as we play it. We haven't seen any action yet, but I think we're getting close to something. We shall see.
It's a nice day for a swell battle, Thomas.
It's a nice day for a hunt. And it looks like people are getting back, so we are going to be going back to cameras and the story in just a second, folks. I'm going to eat a donut. Alrighty, folks. We are just about good to go back to live. Pat, I know that you had the mutton chops look before you gave Adrian the look, but I'm glad that you both have that, because you can just be Adrian. You're muted, by the way.
I said I give mutton chops to all my characters now. If dwarf females can have beards, mine can have mutton chops.
True.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't know why my microphone picks up so much ambient background noise. I've got it sitting on a towel and everything.
It's not that bad right now. I think it just happened to be earlier.
No, I had it didn't have it sitting on a towel earlier.
Well,
got
maybe
it
you
sitting on a
fix it.
towel now, so. But I can still hear a little buzzing.
Thomas, I'm making an assumption that all of our harm has been healed over the last 3 weeks.
Yes, you guys
No,
are.
we got
are
the one
full
harm
up.
when we. You said we got the one harm from being tired earlier, but I'm
Yes,
assuming we
but
rested up.
3 weeks passed since that event occurred. You guys exited Old Faithful, went back to town, and then
Oh,
3
yeah,
weeks
that's
passed.
right.
So you guys are definitely full up on HP. Evelyn, are we good to go? Sweet. All right, folks, we are going to go right back on in.
All right, we're still in the cavern, right?
Yes, you're still in the cavern. Actually, I will move you guys to here, as you guys are making your way back to downtown Cody, Wyoming, to speak with Buffalo Bill's ghost.
Does Chuck know about Bill? Or is he going to be surprised?
We'll see. I mean, Chuck knew about Kateri and Dakota, who are members of a secret organization led by that man, so we'll see. Anyways, you guys, it is, the sky is getting a burnt amber color, or is it burnt umber? And
Umber is the color.
And amber. It's burnt umber and amber. And the, nice pinks going across the sky, some beautiful clouds, some cirrus clouds, which might mean a change in weather to come. Maybe it's going to get snowy soon. We shall see. And before
Umber's
you...
brown, right?
It's not, is it? I thought it was like an orange. It's
a
not
brown.
Burnt umber. The sky is not brown.
Umber and burnt sienna are like shades of brown.
It's amber. And
I know.
you see before you the bronze statue of Buffalo Bill Cody. And he is standing there. The statue. I mean, as much as a statue can.
Has it gotten dark enough yet?
It is. There is color in the sky, which, according to what Bill has told you before, means he is available to be spoken to.
Mr. Bill, are you available?
And Chuck, I don't believe you've seen this before, but you are aware of this statue's properties. You see the face of a man lean out of the statue and sort of grip himself on his own shoulder, and he just sort of leans out and says, "Oh, howdy there, horned one. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
We are doing good. Yet another mystery seems to pop up in your neighborhood, and we were wondering if you could shed any light on it for us.
Another mystery, huh? What you got for me?
A flying windsock scorpion, which seems to be herding small forest animals to itself.
The moment you say that, Bill instantly recoils and almost disappears inside of his statue for a moment.
I
And
check my breath. Oh.
you don't get a reply for a solid 10 seconds before he peers back out and he says, "Did you say flying scorpion?"
We are. That is our hypothesis, given the.
Oh, goodness. May Lathander be with us today. You're gonna need that help, and Mr. guide you. Farum ain't no joke, folks. If you think it could be anything else, pray to all the gods you know that it is that and not a Farum.
Well, we're not too educated on much of what's been going on around here the last several months, so we don't know what else it could be. But given the evidence we've uncovered so far, it points to this creature.
There's lots of scorpion-like creatures. I mean, it could be a giant scorpion, for goodness sake.
Could be a scorpion.
This one left a clear path through the trees.
Could be a Tlincali, scorpion people. Perhaps we've got. Have you verified?
Scorpion people?
Yes, they're scorpion people.
What exactly makes these creatures so terrifying?
My organization, the Stone Crows, was founded because I am a Freemason, a Knights Templar, a defender of this realm.
Easy, Mary. Easy, let him talk.
I'm just getting notes.
Mary, I just want you to know the Illuminati is real. And I'm just going to drop that just to see how your face reacts, and then we'll keep moving.
Yeah, she just like shakes. It's like, tell me something I don't know.
All right. I just wanted to drop that little. I know some stuff, all right? It's kind of fun sometimes. Sorry, I don't have a lot of time with you, and this story is immense. The Netherese Wizards, you had mentioned them to me when you were talking about what was going on in Old Faithful. I mentioned to you Sikoris and Eris and what might be happening down there. I know that you all learned a couple of things about what might be down there. I have never seen it, but do you know what a mythalar is?
I do not.
No.
Do any of you as players know what a mythalar is?
Me, dude, I don't know half these monsters.
I was just wondering if Robert knew, because he's played for a while.
It's
you are muted, Robert.
That one I have not come across.
Okay.
Isn't it like a Netherese device?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, that would explain it. I am not a FR person.
It's in Forgotten Realms.
At all.
Yeah, it's Forgotten Realms. The Mythalar were devices created by the ancient Netherese Wizards to sustain their floating cities. You see, there used to be cities that flew across the continents. I know it's incredible to think about. Even in our modern day, we can't even comprehend how that might work. And yet they sustained them with these large orbs of raw magical power that tapped directly into the Weave and Mystra. They allowed devices around them to work. Magical electricity, think about it. They had light bulbs that came on because the Mythalar was there. And it wasn't until the unraveling, the great ending of our Weave, what brought us to the world with which we live in today, that the last Mythalar withstood the blast. Every city crashed. All of magic destroyed. But Sikoris, at the heart of its city, was given something special. The wizards who worked on it asked for a blessing from Mystra, and in her last moments before her demise, she gave it sentience. the ability to think and protect itself. And in doing so, giving it its own form of life, it was somehow protected from the unraveling and allowed to stay. Eris was created in the final moments of his master to protect such a creature, and I am sorry you had to cross paths with him. I sought to deal with Eris at one point because I knew he would become a problem in his old age, but unfortunately I saw my demise before I was able to do so. Seqoris needs to be protected, and Faerun are the enemy of the Netherese. There were once wars waged in the skies, wizards throwing lightning bolts while Faerun casting dark magics against them. They are masters of the arcane, and if this Faerun is anywhere near Seqoris, he will be feeding off of its influence and its power.
Well, I mean, if this weave is no longer really active, then they can't really hit us with arcane magic, can they?
That's the problem, is because Seqoris exists within Yellowstone, there is an innate connection to a magical source. You told me that one of you was able to cast a spell. That astounded me because I thought we weren't able to do so up to a certain point. But
yeah, Raven, didn't you do that?
I mean, I have. I think someone else did too.
My master who taught me how to cast limited spells, what used to be called cantrips. That's the most of what I've been able to see, but if a Faerun is there, the power, if this one is as old as I think it is, and it would have to be very
this
very
makes
old.
sense as to why.
Please tell me it's something else, please. It's gotta be.
Oh no, the why the ghost was so intent on shielding the house at that point. He's probably trying to protect something from detection.
Yes.
And if it's, this scorpion thing is detecting that presence, that's probably what they're trying to protect it from.
Perhaps.
What do you have any idea what a mythalar was made out of? You called it like a magical light bulb.
Mitheltoe.
Nothing that I have any words to describe.
Sorry.
Magic. It's
Bad
made of
jokes,
magic.
Hmm.
I'll give you -1 forward, Pat. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Interesting.
Why do you
I'm gonna
ask?
think on that one. Why do I ask? Well, if they interacted with the weave like light bulbs, then if I was able to recreate it somehow, then I could detect, basically like puddles of magic, right? Like after a rain, you have puddles, so you'd be able to figure it out. Could be a really good detection. I mean, that's how you detect ghosts too, but it's a little more finicky, I would think.
That's a good point, and I think you might have misinterpreted my meaning. The Mythalar powered light bulbs in their cities. They were called pseudo-magical items. They only worked when a Mythalar was nearby, when they were within the radius of such.
Then that means that we could make magic light bulbs, and when they light up.
I interrupt Mary quickly and use my best Yoda voice when I say, "The tree. Remember your failure at the tree."
Those movies are awful. They're way worse than Star Trek.
He does interrupt you. Says we don't got a lot of time left. Where do you suspect his fairy might be layered?
The mountain. Mary, which mountain was it?
Eagle Peak.
That's not where Seqoris is. You guys went to where Seqoris was in Old Faithful. That's nearly an hour and a half away from Eagle Peak.
We are saying that is where the creature appeared to come from when it attacked the
Then
bear.
you need to get it before it finds Seqoris. I guarantee that whatever Mr. Francis did is protecting Seqoris from being able to be divined by this thing for now. But it's here, and if it finds it, we're gone. I'm certain you've heard rumors about what happens if the volcano underneath Yellowstone goes kaboom. Well, let me tell you folks, it ain't good.
Everything goes kaboom.
Do you have anything
Like
that
everything.
can help us in this to ward off this thing or to help fight this thing?
There
I do not have magic, so I don't know.
go to Edgar's house. He has access to spell books, which could help you learn spells. I would highly recommend finding restoration spells in case anyone decided to get their ass stung by this thing, and anti-magic field. Because if you can stick this thing in anti-magic, it's gonna stop flying. It can't cast
You can
spells
get
at
that
you.
at the Army Surplus Store. Or where would I find it?
No, they wouldn't have anti-magic there.
There's a spell, anti-magic field.
These
I know
are
it's
things
weird
where
to talk about.
Chuck is listening to all this, and he says, I might be able to help in that regard."
You have spell
Wait.
books?
You have anti-magic spell.
I have access to some magics. Actually, I guess the question is, would I have access to anti-magic?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we see if Edgar's in the chat and tell him to run home real quick and get some?
Yeah, John, are you in the chat? Bill says, listen, if this is what you say it is, anyone working on its side could be under the effects of any number of mind-affecting spells. You can't trust people. It could be working with animals. It could be working with any number of folks. Be cautious. Be wise. And please, God, defend yourselves and keep us safe.
Okay. I do have something I want to do when we're done talking with Bill.
Okay. If there's nothing else, then Bill will slowly fade back into his statue. But if anyone else wants to ask anything, please do.
I'm pretty sure we've scared Bill enough for one night.
Okay. Then Bill will fade away.
Chuck looks. Not every day you see a ghost get scared. I guess the book wasn't. He looks down at the book in the satchel aside. I guess the book wasn't exaggerating after all.
We'll have to take your word for that. All right.
Wow.
Chuck, is there anything you need to get to prepare these spells, or supplies you might need to?
Oh, I mean,
Probably wouldn't
Bill
hurt
did
to
say
go
go by Edgar's house.
Yeah, probably
books.
wouldn't hurt to see what he has available.
If Edgar is home, didn't you say Edgar went with Dakota and her mom?
Yes, but Chuck was given a key.
Oh, how convenient. If only we had a
Okay.
way into Chuck's house. I mean, Edgar's house.
If only.
I think I can help with that too. He pulls out key.
Oh, how convenient. All right. We got a burning what little daylight is left. Let's just go see what we can find at Edgar's house.
Sweet.
Everybody
let's
into
grab
the
those
chopper.
books.
If someone wants to pull up Edgar's character sheet really quick for me. He should have his Haven on there. I just want to make sure that I have correct.
It
You
doesn't
can't
show
pull
up.
it up. It's all blank for
for-
me.
It doesn't show
Yeah.
up for
Oh, let me really quickly. Let's learn about Roll20, friends. Let me make it available to edit by all players. Please don't actually change anything on it, but now you guys should be able to read it.
Chuck, since you're going to be dallying with that stuff, why don't you go ahead and read it for him?
So under Haven in the left column, what rooms did John choose for his Haven?
Hold on a second.
Looks
Learn all
like a
about
lore
this, folks.
library, a workshop, and a magical lab.
In Monster of the Week, the book, which is going to be our giveaway.
Yeah,
for
he's
tonight.
got his book.
What did you say, Chandler?
I
He's
would
got
say
what?
he's got lore library, workshop, and magical laboratory.
Okay, great. He's got what you guys need. Magical Laboratory will give you any spell components you might need. The Lore Library will not only tell you more about Faerûn and the Netherese, which I could spout more about, but there's probably not going to be much more useful information. We could go over weaknesses if you want, which is something I can talk about. And you can pretty much learn any spells and have the material components to do so. Now, the ability to cast them...
Weaknesses in spell components and spells would be very useful in this situation, possibly.
I would love to additionally use my science rule, the playbook move, to try and create like that reverse light bulb that would hopefully go off
Yeah.
when magic is nearby.
Yeah. I think a magic detection sort of like Sting, but for magic.
I got a 7.
It's the detect magic in light bulb form.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's a light bulb of detect magic.
So me and you both choose a weird science requirement.
Oh, do I have to look at your character sheet?
No, I gotcha. It'll be in the general.
It's
So
easier
these
for me
are
to
the
pull up your
different
character sheet.
requirements. I don't think it's in the character sheet.
It should be. That's not the right character. Let's see, folks. Everyone watching the stream gets to look at the character sheet. Ha ha ha.
It's beautiful.
Oh, you may use the weird science move in addition. What is weird science under?
So there's another
There it is.
like set of moves.
It's a movie
the weird
from the
moves.
late 80s.
That is true.
So which one are you picking?
I will pick what is it? It's a rare weird material, and hopefully
Yes,
Edgar might have it.
I know why you've chosen that, because that is instantly checked off. But I get to pick one.
Unfortunately. And you may not even have to tell me. I may not be aware
No,
of it.
I need to tell you. Just
Okay.
because I want the playing field to be level. How this is interpreted, we shall see. But it won't work exactly as you intended.
Okay, sounds good. So after a while, I'll get the light bulb to like a curly fluorescent light that's like hooked up to some little like electromagnetic machine that I used at the ghost house.
An EMF detector.
And be like, see, I told you it was possible. Now we just have to see if it works.
You stick a crystal of orichalcum into the circuit for the EMF detector.
Mm-hmm.
And as you hold it closer to Adrian, who has a specific trident dagger on his hip, the closer and closer you get, the more the fluorescent tube lights up and up and up around the spiral, the closer you get to that object.
Chuck turns to Mary and says, just how close do you think you're going to need to get for that thing to work?
I don't know, but what I can imagine is the more powerful the magic, the further I can be. It ought to make...
I can imagine?
What can you imagine?
I can imagine that thing making you a shish kebab.
Shish kebab sounds good.
Well, I mean...
No, I
maybe.
want shish kebab.
It's a cool light bulb, okay? And I made it.
So, Raven, you are, I imagine, spending some time in the lower library learning relevant spells and weaknesses. One of the main things you learn about this thing is it has natural armor that is going to be rather tough to get through if you don't have magical means of doing so. The unfortunate part about that is if you stick this thing in an anti-magic zone, you no longer have magical means of getting through its armor. So you have two different ways to fight it. You either take it out of the fight from a magical end, or you let it have its magic but hurt it much harder. Does that make sense? You either let it keep its defenses up, or keep its defenses up, offense down, offense up, defenses down. At least in comparison to your magical weapons, because I know a lot of you guys have magical means of overcoming damage.
What exactly? Excuse me. What exactly do we have at our disposal, magic-wise?
You have your trident.
Yeah.
Raven's claws are now magical for the purposes of overcoming.
Yeah, I ignore armor, and I do an additional harm with my claws because they are.
You might know a person with a gun carved in arcane runes.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
So you're packing some heat, is what I'll say.
Mary's got her camera, right?
Mary's got her camera, yeah, and maybe a small knife that might dent
the camera.
No.
I have a gun. It's an unregistered firearm.
I have a gun.
Against magical armor. Okay.
I have some other stuff that may be able to be helpful, but it's not relevant now.
Other than that, you're not aware of any other weaknesses this thing has.
Okay.
Also, if you do put it in an anti-magic zone, it can't fly anymore.
Which would be hilarious. It'll just flop.
Well, depending on where we find this thing, my hang on a second.
Speaking of where, I mean, Eagle Peak is a place that people can hike to. 1 second. I'm gonna bust open my laptop and just start trying to get onto the forums that I go to and get a 6, which is unfortunate. I was trying to use NetFriends to see who's hiked out at Eagle Peak, or if there's anybody that's seen anything weird. But I guess in all of my circles with a 6, they're like, who goes outside?
Yeah, they're basically like, I haven't gone outside in 2 months, and I really don't care to go hiking on some random mountain named after the bird of the Patriots. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't blame them. I don't want to go outside either.
Well, my idea was, depending on where exactly we find this thing, is to try to do a 2 or 3 pronged attack with me, since I already know that I can use the trident at ranged a little bit, is to see if I can damage it and distract its attention toward me. Well, that gives Raven a chance to attack from the flank and try to do damage with her claws, since it ignores armor. And then Chuck can use, and once those 2 attacks are, if they're successful and we damage it enough, Chuck can cast the anti-magic field on it so it can't attack us, and then we can use more mundane methods to try to finish it off.
Entirely possible. One thing I will mention, both Chuck and now Raven know this, Faerûn are incredibly intelligent.
Well, then we'll just have Mary confuse it with his theories.
It takes someone with a very high IQ to understand
it would
think at my same speed.
It would have to.
Bring the map out with all the thread and pins on it.
Yep.
Yeah,
very difficult.
Well, me and the Faerûn can talk about Rick and Morty jokes while all of you sit by.
Chandler, I was gonna say that if you mention Rick and Morty, I swear I will give you disadvantage or something.
Do it. Bet you won't.
No.
Look, he ran out of luck. Oh
no! Bum bum ba.
Wow. So you guys do your preparation. Are you heading back to JR and Alice's place before the night is over?
Yes, we're going to be sleeping there for the night. Once we have everything ready, that'll give us a more stable place to do any last-minute prep work and stuff like that.
I'll be sure to bring my sleeping mask.
Cool. So you guys make your way there, and unless anything else happens overnight that you guys want to discuss or prep or do, we're pretty much just going to move straight into tomorrow, if that's okay.
Hang on a second. Before we go to bed, I pull Mary off to the side.
Sorry, Aiden. I really don't think of you that way.
Man, don't flatter yourself. I want to show you something in the truck.
Whoa. Okay.
Maybe useful to you.
Aiden, I
smack her I just smack her upside the back of her head and just shut up and follow me.
Okay.
I get into the truck and I say, we will hopefully be able to bring this close to where the creature is. If not, this is all pointless. But if we can get close enough to this truck, I want to show you a nice little trick in this truck that maybe is something you can use to help out.
Oh, okay. Let's see it.
And I take him toward the back where one of the control panels are, and I light it up. And he sees a little screen come up with a targeting reticle. This is like a video game. You are familiar with video games, yes?
Aiden, don't lie to me. I mean, yes, objectively, this is like a video game.
This is the targeting screen for the 50 caliber machine guns mounted behind the headlights. If you see us get into trouble, and once we can remove the magic from the beast, you can go to town and unload 500 rounds of 50 caliber bullets into it and see if that helps us bring an end to this threat.
You know, the fact that you want me to do it makes me less willing to.
You have a legally licensed firearm, do you not? So you are familiar with how to pull a trigger and point a thing?
Yes, I am. I don't like the veiled threats. However,
it's not veiled threats. I'm trying to work to your strengths.
I appreciate it. I don't know what your angle is.
My
I
angle
don't know
is
what
I
the
want
CIA
to live.
wants to.
I want the rest of the team to live. You are the only one who does not have a viable weapon against the creature we are facing. I am giving you a chance to help out. You do not have to. If you are uncomfortable with it, that's fine. We may not even be able to use it if we cannot get the truck close enough.
Yeah, Mary, through squinted eyes, looks at you and at the console and looks at you.
I give him
my
biggest puppy dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Puss in Boots eyes.
I say,
Can you do this for your friends? If not for me.
Okay, fine.
Think
and
of
then I'm gonna
Suzanne.
then
Think of Suzanne.
Okay, that definitely got me. You know what?
I was gonna
definitely for Suzanne. Also, can I take a look at it right now?
Take a look at what?
The console.
Oh yeah,
looks cool.
I leave you in there to make yourself familiar with the controls.
You guys go to sleep and use your.
Please just do not squeeze the trigger, okay?
No, of course not. And I'm just blown away. Of course, they always have tricks.
I go back in the cabin. Mary will be in shortly.
This is very badass.
She may be out there all night. I don't know.
No, I'm not in there for very long. I'm just very blown away by the system. I will sit outside talking to a tree for a while, though.
Okay.
That's something that's my character can do.
You're totally right.
On my playbook.
The tree doesn't talk back. Also, Evelyn's power just flickered, so her camera's nicely frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen.
Yeah, but we can keep going.
At least she froze with a nice.
It's not a Monster of the Week stream without a couple of It's not a Blue Box stream without a couple of technical errors, if I'm being honest.
Trees are such patient.
Oh gosh, don't look at me. I'm hideous. All of our cameras just changed. At least mine and Evelyn's did. You guys are still fine.
Oh god.
Hasn't caught up on Twitch yet.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Seems to be a bit of delay.
A little bit.
Leaf wafer brush. No, trees, unfortunately, they have a rough time responding, but they're great listeners.
Well, while we're waiting for Raven to come back from her nightly vigil, we can sing campfire songs. Yay!
Gather around the campfire.
99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. Oh,
Chuck, is there anything you want to do in preparation for tomorrow?
Well, Chuck's looking through all the components available and figuring out what's useful, what isn't. Looking for potential contingency spells. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really use components for the most part, so this is just the really, really special stuff.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right, so you guys make your way to sleep. Things happen. Evelyn's back with us. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, we were all so afraid.
It was just a quick fluctuation of my power. Apparently,
yeah,
I decided really to do that.
Thanks, Tennessee. Anyways, you guys wake up the next morning to the smell of eggs and bacon and coffee, and a good log cabin breakfast. Thick cut bacon, by the way, if that matters to anybody. And you enjoy a nice meal as JR has the TV on to WKYS News in the Morning, and a stinger hits.
Oh god, a stinger!
Not a stinger. Ah!
It's not gonna be.
Sorry, I guess that wording was poorly chosen.
Lay eggs and chocolate.
And you see a familiar face, the anchor of WKYS, Rick Beasley's face, appear on the screen as he says, "Good morning, Cody, Wyoming. This is Rick Beasley with WKYS Morning News. Tragedy has struck Yellowstone once again." A young couple has been found dead along the Eagle Peak Trail late last night. The victims, a young couple from Casper, Wyoming, appear to have been on a week-long trip to do some rock climbing and summiting. We go now live to Kelly Ansley for the story. Thanks, Rick. Today we were met with a gruesome scene as... Come on, shut it down. You're out. I want all the press off my crimes... And it cuts as you see kind of a very dark-skinned dwarven man wearing a tailored suit come up and put his hand in front of the lens and toss it to the side. As you see Rick come back on the screen after a second. Well, Kelly, we'll get back to that later with more on that story. For now, Yellowstone Park Rangers have closed off the trail for the day and have asked us to warn any hikers wishing to enter the park to be cautious around strangers. Stay safe, Cody. We will return after these messages. And JR looks at you guys and says, now, that wouldn't have anything to do with what happened to our good bear friend, would it? And he gives a really big, long gulp.
Well, without looking at the bodies, we couldn't be sure, but do we know what mountain they were climbing?
Eagle Peak.
Then more than likely, I would say yes.
I'm going to go with yes.
Unless there's a murderer out there as well.
Yes, maybe Suzanne is looking for breakfast.
Now,
Listen,
hey,
Evelyn,
Suzanne wouldn't do
sometimes
that.
news anchors have to be cheery, okay? They're delivering bad news to people.
Also, I just have to say, I haven't seen a dwarf in a good mood. I swear.
Alice Riley, who you are in the house of, is a dwarf.
Mm-hmm. Never mind.
She hasn't been in a good mood, has she? No, she hasn't.
But you all know of this, and Adrian, you do not recognize the man you saw in. I
was gonna say a guy in a black suit. Is that somebody I know?
No, you do not. Unless you want to. Why don't you actually roll to deal with the agency really quick for me? We'll see if you've maybe met this guy at a company party or something.
Deal with the agency. I don't like dealing with the agency.
Who does?
Probably because it's my only thing I don't have. Oh wait, no. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Yep, no, I have a 0. I don't need it. Would you like a picture?
Is it a 12? I'm fine. Okay. You send a really quick request up by text, but it's already kind of in the back of your mind. You have met this guy before. He's FBI. He's with the BSU. It might be now the BAU, but behavioral analysis is what he does. And his name is Jack Hannity. And he tends to come in for serial killer cases and interesting cases.
Hannity. That name sounds really, really familiar in real life.
I think it sounds familiar because it's just one of those names.
It's an SNL thing.
No.
Is that an SNL thing? It's definitely original. Didn't copy it from anyone. That's actually true. I didn't actually, but if it's something else, this is a work of fiction. Any names or characters are merely coincidental.
Sean Hannity is who I'm thinking of.
Sean Hannity. Yes, you're right. Okay. Jack Hannity.
There was also a Jack. There was also something that sounded very much a Jack that with the last name and it's from years ago, but I can't remember.
The Ripper.
Who knows?
Okay. Anyway, so Jack Hannity, and he's with the BS. Go ahead.
Yeah, if we had left last night, maybe they wouldn't have died. Maybe Suzanne would be alive. I don't.
JR comes up to you, or Alice comes up to you and pats you on the shoulder. If you had gone out there last night, maybe you would have died.
Oh, wow, you're right. Wow, I'm suddenly not worried about it at all. Thank you. That was very helpful.
That really was not my point, Mary. Okay.
Do you want me? Okay. Thank you for the breakfast, by the way.
Adrian walks up behind Alice and goes like, "Welcome to our club."
Yes, you're an interesting bunch. I hope you slept well, but it seems like you need to get off to the races.
Yes. Apparently, we have to go see 2 dead bodies today.
Are we going to be following Alice and JR? Or are they going to give us a map directions? Is there a trail that actually leads up to where we need to go?
Yeah, there's absolutely a trail. They'll give you a park map if you need it. That one of you can write down in your inventory if you want it. You have a full park map
I'm
of
more
trails.
worried as can the vehicle?
Oh yeah, your
close?
car is equipped with 4-wheel drive and all-terrain tires.
I didn't know it had 4 wheels. Okay.
It's uncomfortable on the inside. It's nice on the outside. So,
Okay,
yep.
that's cool. With all the budget cuts you've been giving me, I didn't think I'd have 4-wheel drive.
Listen here, bud. I'm just playing the game, all right?
I'm
I gotta
trying
do
to
what I
it.
gotta do. Government
You're in
agencies
Wyoming,
aren't easy.
So I can push a button and it'll jack the vehicle up,
No.
and all the hubs will lock.
No.
Tires will overinflate.
No. You guys, I'm assuming, get in the vehicle and make your way to that trail.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
At the entrance to the trail, you find a number of Park County Sheriff cars that have cordoned off the walking entrance to the trail, but there is also a Jeep entrance that goes further up the peak that a cop car is also sitting right in front of. And standing in front of said car is a short, dwarven, dark-skinned man with a nice beard, black hair, that he is sporting a badge and writing notes down on
Now,
a
does
piece
Jack
of paper.
know me as well, or do I just know?
You met each
of
other
Jack?
once at a party a number of years back, so...
Yeah, cool. So I walk up to him,
Okay.
slap him on the back. Jack, what brings you out to this part of the woods? You're kind of far from home, aren't you?
Adrian, what the
Yes.
heck are you doing out here, my man?
Probably the same thing you are.
You're
investigating these incidents.
He kind of looks at the people who are standing behind you, this weird ragtag group of individuals, pulls you off to the side, and he says, I'm sorry, are you out on mission with the CIA, coming to a double homicide? What's the CIA got to do with my job?
Well, you know I can't tell you.
You're not
why.
investigating me, are you?
You? Should I be?
Adrian, we've got a double homicide on our
No,
hands. We got to figure out who the killer is.
I know, and we are going to leave you to investigate your homicide. We are actually here because believe it or not, some wild creatures are roaming where they don't belong and killing things they shouldn't kill. I'm here more of a natural resource investigation, but it requires that we go farther up the mountain.
You mean there's like some wolves and bears up there? Listen, I'm not worried about that. This wasn't an animal murder.
No. We are not saying the animals are murdering people. We are more focused on the natural order of these animals are not where they should be, and they are not doing what they should be doing.
I'm gonna lean out of the car.
You will not.
I'm just
This
gonna
is
say,
official business. Keep your
ask
head
him about
in
the cause of death. By the way, I'm not listening.
Yes, welcome to my stepchild. As you can see, I had to associate with the different aspects of the Nature Conservatory Force. So
I didn't know the CIA got involved with the Nature Conservatory Force. That's riveting.
It's hard to do.
But listen,
You know how red
I can't
tape
let you on
goes.
my crime scene. I can't let you
I'm
anywhere
not
near
gonna
my
go
crime
on your
scene.
I'm going to go past your crime scene.
That would involve you getting near my crime scene, Adrian. I'm very sorry, but unless you have some official paperwork to show me, I really sincerely... it'll be my butt if I do that.
I could show you the paperwork, but you wouldn't believe it.
I feel like I might.
Okay. I go back and I get him the file, the fax that I got about the flying scorpion.
Pat, are you sure you want to show this guy this? Because you work for a secret branch of the CIA, and yet you keep going around telling people about ghosts and monsters.
Yeah.
Hey,
he's not going to believe it. He's a dwarf.
Ask him about cause of death. I ask him. Do it. I bet you won't.
Do you want to shoot the big guns?
All right. You show him the PNRDC dossier, and he looks at it for a moment. And he says, "Giant scorpion. What?"
And I just give him that pitiful look, like I pissed the boss off. Okay, I need to do this job. I am not going to get in your way. I just need to go up the mountain and find out why the animals are not being animals.
Can you roll
And then we'll be gone.
to manipulate someone?
Yes, that's. I hate these things.
And
I think that's
I
also
will
because my
give you
only other thing that I don't
+1
have.
because I think that the document didn't really give anything necessarily away about monstrous origin.
It just said a homeless person was injured by something.
Plus,
that looked like
you
a
did a lot of
flying insect.
redacting on it that might have shown.
And coffee stains. Yeah.
Yeah. I did put a coffee stain on it. I'll have to show you guys I'll send it in the fan art chat once we're done with the stream. I'll also send the voicemail file that I sent to Evelyn.
All right. If anybody wants to help if this goes bad, I'll appreciate it.
I thought you didn't want any help. I thought it was official business only.
That's an 8. So.
All right, well, it can't be helped, but it's decent enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. He will.
But only if I do something for them right now to show that I mean it.
He says,
if you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So look, we both know how the stuff rolls downhill in our prospective jobs now.
I've always wanted to be in the CIA. That's all I'll say. If you can put in a good word for me.
I could definitely put in a good word for you, and I could probably get you a case of that dwarven stout you like.
Yeah, that'll do me. That'll do me good.
Right. That's fine for me. Like I said, I just need to get back in the good graces.
Listen,
and once
do
I
you
am
have
there,
badges for
I
your
will
little
make sure
ragtag
you know
group?
that. I'm sorry, what?
Do you have badges for your little ragtag group? Are they?
Unfortunately, they are not allowed to have badges. It goes to their heads, especially the big dorky one. You saw her. They cannot. They are here more for consulting purposes rather than official purposes.
2 cases of ale.
Do you know how much that's fine? 2 cases. And a subscription to that magazine you like.
All right. Yanev, you got 45 minutes before I've got to clear the site out.
Thank you. That's all I need. I rush back to the car and say, okay, guys, do not say a word. Do not look at the little dwarf. We are on our way. And I drive past him, waving, thank you, come back.
He backs his car up, waves as you drive past, and you make your way up the trail for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It winds back and forth up some switchbacks for a while before it leads to a dead end. And you do see a couple of park rangers walking up the trail as you make your way. You follow them for a bit until you see 2 trees that have blood stains running down them and pitons into the sides of them with what look like some kind of chain hanging from them. And at the base are a pool of blood, and carved into each of them is something that looks like the symbol of maybe a sun. Hard to tell from this distance. And you see 2 black bags sitting in the shade of the trees nearby.
Oh, these are the mountain climbers?
Yes, these are the people who were killed.
So those are, I was going to ask if those actually looked like actual park rangers, but okay.
No, the park rangers are just helping out with the scene right now. They're helping to keep things going.
Okay.
I'd like to roll to investigate at a distance, if possible.
Sure.
I know that might affect...
I would also like to, while he's rolling, I would also like to utilize my surveillance equipment and see if I can get a decent aerial shot from where we are.
I will easily give you an aerial shot. You are maybe... I want to say 4 miles from the summit of Eagle Peak, and around the peak you see a couple of small creeks, and to like the west of you see a couple of clearings. To the east you see a couple of other clearings, and one of them is kind of bright yellow, maybe looks like it has a lot of flowers in it. One of them looks like it might have a couple of extra little creeks running through it. There's a decent number of clearings in this area. It looks like a lot of them are around dead patches of wood.
I'm more looking for like something that might be a roost or a cave.
You do see at that more yellowy clearing, you do see it looks like the mountain leads to a cliff edge there. Right at the base of the clearing. Anyways, investigate your mystery.
Yeah, so what's the negative I got to the roll?
What did you...
If any?
It's not going to be a
11.
negative to the roll. It will just affect your answers.
Okay, I got an 11.
Okay, so you get to ask 2 questions.
Yeah, the first is, what happened here? This is an elaborate death scene. It's almost ritualistic.
It does seem ritualistic, and it is, at this distance, hard to tell. And I know that you don't like that answer, but this is the situation you put yourself in. 2 people were killed and strung up on trees.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You can tell just from this.
Then again, I might not get great answers, but we can't stop. What was it gonna do? What do I feel like it was gonna do? Whatever the perpetrator was.
You get the feeling that the perpetrator wanted to send a message.
Okay. So it was less like a ritual and more like a public display.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. With that, I'll simply state as like I'm face smushed up against the glass, saying with like my lips kind of like touching the window, which is tinted, I imagine, right?
Absolutely.
Adrian.
No.
Yeah.
An old mail truck. It doesn't even have windows.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So it looks like whatever did this was trying to, I would imagine, keep people away from the mountain. I doubt anyone's going to want to hike out here for a good long while. Probably to hide its presence.
Mr. Chuck,
Chuck,
do those symbols carved into the mountain look familiar to you by any chance?
I will just say flat out, from this
Obviously.
distance, it's hard for you to tell.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chuck. That's kind of where I thought you had mentioned before. So we're gonna need a closer look. How far away are they? The symbols? Is it like
You guys are about
40 feet?
Yeah, you're about maybe 10 yards.
Wait
Chuck-
a minute.
Chuck grunts and gets out of the vehicle.
I'll go with him because he's walking up on a crime scene. I don't want to. I have a badge. I can
From a
just
mail
flash it.
truck.
Yeah,
Letter
it
for you,
doesn't
sir.
actually say mail on it.
Yeah, it's just black. But, yeah.
But I'll go with him just in case somebody goes, "Why are you here?" And I'll flash the CIA badge.
You just, you get hand waved. It's fine.
Chuck walks the scene as if he absolutely belongs there, not paying attention. Everyone else is just irrelevant, and walks up to the symbols to take. Bends down on the knee to take a closer look.
Yeah, they're kind of near the base of the tree. It looks like if these people were strung up, it would have been below their feet. And they look like imagery of a sun if the center of it were dotted. If that makes sense. So it has like the kind of fiery edges of a sun, like that curly edge, but a very dotted center, like it had been stabbed repeatedly over and over again with a knife.
Does I don't even know what questions I'd ask.
Well, there are vague
Does
questions
that bring
built
anything
into certain moves.
Yeah. Does the image bring anything specific to mind in terms of?
I mean, maybe an eclipse could bring to mind like a sunflower or any other number of similarly shaped flowers. It could bring to mind.
But it doesn't look arcane to you.
Could look like a fireball, like a sphere, a flaming sphere. But no, you don't gather any arcane rune style nature of these shapes.
Sacrificial in nature, or perhaps some kind of warning, like the trigger for a trap, if we go beyond this.
What is Raven doing at this crime scene?
Looks like she's reading something.
She didn't approach the crime scene. She was letting them approach the crime scene since the two of them specifically said they wanted to go.
Does Raven
So she's
want
still
to go?
studying the books.
Okay. All right, fair.
Chuck is going to detect magic.
Okay. All right. Okay. There are people here, but which will require you to not only hold your gun, but speak verbal incantations and use gestures.
How close are the people? Are they something I can walk to and distract them and
Yes,
turn them around?
if you want to, that is something you can do. There's not that many people here. There's like 3 park
I
rangers.
see what he's getting ready to do, and I'm like, okay, let me make sure, So I'm going to walk to the 2 park rangers or whoever the agents are, and just pat them on the back, turn them around a little bit, and ask them if they've ever seen the kind of equipment I've got inside my truck.
That truck looks mighty nice, fella.
Yeah.
What sort of stuff are you? I see a little satellite dish up on top of that sucker. What are you working with?
No,
in
the
there?
satellite dish is actually hidden on the back.
Well, I see antenna. Anyways,
It's some pretty nice equipment inside. You want to check this out? Maybe give you something to look forward to in your career, huh?
Roll to manipulate someone.
8.
I can come with you.
It'd only take a minute.
I gotta leave someone on the scene. We can't just leave the crime scene. Here, Jack, you stay here. Keep an eye on these bodies. I don't want any wolves coming up. And they leave one guy behind, but 2 of them go with you toward the truck.
He's
not currently looking at you, but there is still a possibility, Rob, that something could go wrong. But roll to use magic.
I'm gonna guide the guy into the vehicle and introduce him to Mary and Raven. And Mary, show him the cool video game setup I have up here. And I wink at you, not in a sexual way.
Pat, no one was there. No one was there with you.
Kind of way.
Yeah, no. Pat, I get it. He wants to add the right adjective to go with his wink. This is like writing a book. He winks conspiratorially.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna wink back, equally conspiratorial, and pull up the screen.
Sweet. All right, Robert, what'd you roll?
Well, he's distracted. I'm gonna keep an eye on the other guy.
Plus my weird, correct?
Yes.
Weird
plus your weird.
Right? So that's a 10 total.
Oh wow.
You have 4 weird.
He has plus 3 weird.
Yeah, Robert's very weird.
So, I do believe that is a complete success, which if you read use magic, nothing goes wrong. You do it mildly under your breath, but loud enough to pluck on the weave around you, and you feel the winds of magic return to your gun as you sort of hold it sideways in your hand, and you sort of bump the handle? What am I trying to think of? The grip of the gun up against the wood of the tree, and you don't get anything off of it. No trace of magic on the runes.
Disappointing.
However, when you turn your eyes further up the mountain, you do get a slight trace of something left over in the air moving to the east, near where Adrian saw that sunflower field.
I think looks at the park ranger that's still there and gets up, coughs in one hand as he puts the gun away in the other, with the other. And walks back to the vehicle.
Cool. Anybody else?
I'm going to talk about. I'm not talking about anything while these 2 are still looking at the vehicle.
I've got one thing that I want to do, like the meme where all the numbers and symbols are going past my head.
Yeah.
I want to try and connect the dots.
Okay.
Between all this information we've gotten.
Oh, is this one of those starter mystery things that we just didn't do?
Yeah, we just didn't. So I'm wondering if I could use it now.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So I'm gonna hold. So I got 14, a great roll. I got it. So that's a 12. I'm really only gonna use one right now, and use the other ones and try and time them thematically. Is this person and the person I'm thinking of actually, because this doesn't look like it could be done by a windsock, what we're seeing. Especially now knowing about the file that Pat shared, that there's some homeless guy or some guy that got attacked, and knowing that the creature can dominate other creatures, is this person, aka the victim, more connected to the events than we've seen?
Absolutely.
The facts actually stated that the guy described his attacker as the windsock scorpion thing.
Yeah.
He's
So you're saying
wondering
that...
if this guy is now under the thrall of this windsock thing and could have done this for him.
No, because the homeless guy was still in the hospital before we left, according to the facts anyway.
I don't believe the dossier says he's still in the hospital. I think that he was hospitalized and then was released from hospital once his wounds were recovered.
So, with that in mind, the answer is?
Yes. He is somehow connected to this more than you know.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut. For once.
Everyone laughs. Anybody else want to do anything at this crime scene? Adrian, you see Chuck walking back toward the car after he finishes doing what he was doing.
Is the other agent still in the truck, or has he?
Yeah, you've walked them out at this point. They've gotten the tour, okay. and they're thoroughly impressed by all of your fun equipment.
I wave at them. Good luck with the investigation.
Thanks, friends. Have a good one. Sort of shakes his head.
As soon as the doors close, I'm gonna say to no one in particular, and looking at no one in particular, the survivor did it. They did it. I feel very confident.
The survivor is a homeless man. How would he get up here?
I don't know that, but he did it. The Faerun, they can dominate creatures. Do you really think that something as smart as that would just let a victim go? No, if it wanted to kill him, it would have killed him. But he's alive, and there's a reason
so far,
for it.
The only thing that the creature has attacked and dominated are animals.
So we think. I mean, can a dominated creature not lie?
I have no idea.
But it's possible, right? Like, think about it.
Well, never mind.
I understand.
At this point, I'm not dismissing any theories at this point.
If you care about justice, I would talk to your FBI friend, but one way or the other, I would just say be aware that we might have more trouble than just a simple monster, or perhaps more than just a simple monster. It's, as
how
Chuck said, very evil.
Is the dwarf now? Didn't we drive quite a ways past him?
Yeah, you drove about 10-15 minutes, so you're probably a good...
Running back down to him right now isn't viable. We need to move forward and try to find either the creature and or this controlled person.
You could tell the other officers to walkie it down to him. I'll leave that up to you. I don't like interacting with the FBI.
I would not trust them to give him the correct...
You're right. They could have been dominated as well. In fact, the FBI agent could have been mentally dominated.
Nah, he's a dwarf. He's got a brain for a rock.
Did anyone want to look at anything else at the crime scene? The bodies?
I'm waiting to see if Chuck
looking further
tells
at the
us
chains.
anything.
Anything else?
So those two guys, they went away?
Yeah, they're gone. You guys are now in the truck alone.
That symbol wasn't magical, but he points in the sky to where he saw the trace of magic by the sunflowers. There, I think we may find what we're looking for over there.
Well, what did it look like? The symbol.
The symbol? Oh, tree. It looked like a sunburst or something with almost black dots going across the center of it.
Does that sound familiar to Raven from all of the research that she's been doing?
You did at one point pull up a picture of a Faerun from an old book, and looks a lot like one from the mouth, like from straight on. Rows of teeth leading back into an endless maw that is covered or surrounded in these little tendrils that edge its circular mouth.
Right, so remembering that, she kind of digs through the books that she brought with her and flips to the page and says,
So like this?
and shows the picture.
I'm assuming it's the same.
Yeah, looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
But much
And
more.
it's
Oh, that
Yeah, the one you saw was slightly more stylized in the way of trying to make it look like a flower.
Either way, I don't think this creature would draw pictures of itself on a tree, which gives credence to the theory that there is something else working with it. And you said it heads toward that cliff with the yellow flowers?
that's where. Well, that's where I saw. Didn't get a good look at it, but there's something magical up there. That's for sure.
But it led toward that direction. Raven, could I ask a favor of you, if possible? Could
what do you
you
need?
could you go into wolf form and see if you can find some kind of scent around the trees without disturbing the crime scene, and
Of course.
see if something leads toward the same direction? Don't go heading off. Just see if you can find something that points in the same direction the trace of magic did.
I can do that.
And Raven will go wolfy.
He's so fluffy.
So there are still people outside.
She was still in the van.
Yeah.
And she had all the books. So,
Just
you know.
make doggy noises as you go.
She's just a furry, guys. Don't worry about it.
I'm
Big
cosplaying, y'all.
Siberian husky dog.
She'll get out of the van at this point and move very quickly with her preternatural speed.
Okay, I want you to roll to act under pressure, because I'm
right.
certain you don't want to get seen in this form. The men are still kind of distracted. They're now kind of outside of the car,
well,
a little bit of a
that's why
distance,
she's,
chatting.
You know, moving as quickly as possible.
Of course, I understand. I'm into it. I just don't see why we can't put it up to a dice roll.
Plus cool. Okay. Let's see. Plus cool. Okay.
Two ones.
Hey, so no, it wasn't 2 ones.
Nice
It's
try,
a total
Thomas.
of 8.
Okay. You get out of the car, and instantly one of the dudes looks up at the back of the truck, and you like sort of tussle your hair for a second and then bolt, and he just sort of looks at you really quick and then like blinks his eyes, and you see him kind of like rubbing his eyes as you look back. You're kind of out of his line of sight at this point, but he looks confused as to why you were there in one moment and gone in another. And you can hear his voice from a distance. It's weird. I need to get my eyes checked.
I yell out the window. Nice holographic projector, huh? Aha!
Ah, you got me. You got me.
This is good at Halloween. I love this thing.
You go out. I'm not gonna make you necessarily roll for this.
Right.
As you get kind of past the bodies, more towards that eastern side of that direction, when you pass the bodies, you cannot help but smell the exact same smell of poison that you smelled on the bear earlier. It just is a stench on them that you can't help but smell. And as you pass, you sort of take your spot behind one of the trees that they had strapped them up against, and you sniff out into the distance. Can you roll plus sharp for me?
Plus sharp. Okay.
This is going to be you rolling to investigate a mystery, so you can also choose to ask some of those questions.
Okay, and then investigate a mystery. Okay, there's like categories. Okay, I rolled a 9.
One question.
All right.
Unless someone wants to help her, I'm not sure how. No, I don't think
I didn't go with her.
Yeah.
That's all right. Where did it go?
Very good
We
question.
send her positive thoughts. Does that help?
You do that, and you don't see her, so it doesn't really work. And you look out. Your now more wolfy eyes kind of dilate a bit, and you scan the horizon. You look for those signs of maybe something flying through the trees, and you smell, and you do find that poison trace does kind of give way toward the east. And as you look that way, you see something rustle in the tree line, and you see a tuft of bright red hair and the flash of some sort of metal. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Ha 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 ha!
Right.
Mystery!
All right.
That was fun!
All right.
Robert,
See
I know
y'all
we
in
didn't
3
get into a
months.
heck of a lot of action. No, we're going to play this again soon. I'm going to bug John till it happens. We will see how this mystery of the Feyre Rim resolves itself next time. But for tonight, we have to get everyone to their next streams, and we have to do a little bit of a giveaway.
We also have to ask a question.
I'm putting the keyword in the chat right now.
We'll make the
for
keyword
giveaway.
exclamation
so if
point
you would like to enter.
book. If that's okay with you, Evelyn, exclamation
Oh,
point
I'm doing
book.
anti-magic. I already put it in.
Anti-magic. Type that. To be entered into the giveaway
Already
for
had
the
it in.
Monster of the Week book.
And we have to ask a question.
We do have to ask a
Yes,
question,
we do.
and since we have some time, why don't we also ask the end of the mystery question? God, we could actually even do like stream MVP. What do you think about doing that?
What?
We
No
could do
way.
stream, give 1 XP for
I
stream
could do that.
MVP. We could do stream
1
MVP.
XP.
Yeah, but that's like how this game. I can't give away large amounts of things.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Let's do
okay, I
stream
gotcha.
MVP. I think that's fun, and we'll do a roll off for the giveaway as well.
Okay.
But we'll do it with 2d6 because it's in the spirit of this game. Let's start.
Okay.
Let's start with Pat. Pat, why don't you tell us why Adrian deserves to be stream MVP tonight?
Because I'm Adrian Yanov. That's why.
That's why.
I don't know. Just rolling with all the punches. I got a cool car. I'm gonna let Mary shoot off 50 cals. Make her feel useful. Even though she was
Make her
anyway.
feel useful.
No, I like
So
it.
passive aggressive, so horribly passive aggressive.
That's
Yes,
why I like how
we're
Adrian,
establishing our fradversary
yeah.
thing.
Adrian always gaslights Mary no matter what she says, no matter the validity.
But I mean, other than that, just trying to connect the dots and trying to get the team rolling in the right direction. Remembering that we could ask Bill about what was going on. I thought we got a big boost from Bill as far as the threat level of what we were facing. I bought a dwarf some beer.
You told a dwarf you would buy him some beer.
I think I influenced quite a few people tonight. I got lucky for some good rules. And like I said, I got us a really, really nice, comfortable ride into the mountains.
Yeah. I like all of that. Let's move on to Chandler. Why is Mary stream MVP tonight?
Mary's piecing it all together. I think we're seeing that all of the research she's done over the many sessions is coming together into one unified piece. Okay, we had the presentation that proved to be useful. And,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, as well as some of the connecting the dots at the end and being like, oh wait, there's that guy is probably going to show up again. So
and remember, you still have
like
two of those connect the dots questions.
Yes, I know. I've got it written down. So
sweet.
She's continuing that crazy self, and she also is just very worried about Suzanne, and winning MVP would really help her.
Votes
mentally
for Suzanne
and emotionally. Yeah, votes for Suzanne.
All right.
1 vote equals 1 prayer.
Evelyn, why does Raven deserve to be stream MVP?
Let's see. She deserves to be stream MVP because
so fluffy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But also because he's been the research person, making sure to kind of know what's going on. she did share the voicemail with her compatriots
Yes.
so that they knew which direction to go in. And just generally kind of being the voice of reason at times.
Every party needs one.
At times.
There's no reason in this group. Come on.
And
but yeah, so that's
you've
like
got a very
very
cute daughter, and she's having fun with the dragon, and that's what really matters,
Yes.
right?
Does anybody notice that a lot of Evelyn's characters seem to do a lot of the work in the background?
Yeah. Very, very motherly.
Irda's counting money, Raven's researching books.
And Robert, why does Chuck deserve to be stream MVP?
Chuck came into this venture mystery, and he had ended the session still a mystery. In between, he's been helping trying to solve a mystery. And besides, man, he's wearing a duster, a cowboy hat, and he's got a magical gun.
That's pretty
What
cool
else
to
do
me. It's got my vote. All right, folks. Why don't we, Evelyn? I think enough people have popped !anti-magic into the chat. Can you really quickly
Yes.
give me 4 people for us to do our roll off with?
Yes.
I meant to
And
divvy
the
those
poll's
out.
up now.
Our poll is up.
Poll's up now.
So
Before we
let's
do
start
that,
with let's start with Pat.
I'd like
Who
to
does
take a
Pat
second.
have?
Hang on. I'd like to take a second to point out to the fact that this is twice now I've looked over at the chat, and we have had 50+ viewers.
Thank you guys.
So this is
Seriously,
Thank you
for
all
a
for
random
And
Tuesday
chatters.
makeup stream, thank you guys so much for keeping the
We,
views.
we know we're not the A team, but we appreciate you coming out
Yes,
like that.
we
That's-
certainly
that's
appreciate
awesome.
being your B team and keeping us in your hearts and your eyes and your ears. Evelyn, who does Pat have?
Always. Pat has Woden Emrys.
Woden, give us a
Woden
message in
Emrys
chat if
is
you're
a
here.
subscriber.
I'm going to apologize in
listening
advance.
here.
And if the person is a sub, we will
They are
roll
sub?
twice. All right, let's
Okay,
move on
speed
over
D6.
to Chandlar. Who does Chandler have?
Rolling now for Chandler. Chandler
Obsidian
has
Risk.
Obsidian Risk.
Ooh.
Also,
let me help
Woden, if
out.
you are in chat,
Is it
please send a
4?
message.
We have a 12 for Obsidian Risk.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you're
Pat
rolling
didn't. Yeah,
already?
Pat didn't roll for his yet.
Oh,
I
whoops,
thought
sorry.
we were
Okay.
giving out the names.
Well, we
You're
have. Wait. Okay, so Woden's here. Obsidian
I
Risk,
can-
are you here? And Obsidian is a follower.
Okay.
No,
I didn't
Woden
see
is
did
here.
Woden show up? Oh, there he is. Okay.
We
Yeah,
haven't had
Woden's
Obsidian
in here.
Risk come in yet, so Chandler, I'm gonna nullify your 12, and
Yeah,
we'll wait.
nullify it.
Um,
Jury
Evelyn,
nullification.
I'm showing him as a subscriber.
He's showing up as a follower on my screen, but it's possible that yep, sub. So he might have resubbed. Chuck, you have one stream MVP.
Chuck one stream MVP, which means he gets 1 XP. I know it's not a heck of a lot. I'll actually give you 2 XP for stream MVP tonight. I think that's more fun. And
Alright, yep, Obsidian's here, and yep, sub. I'm rolling for Robert's person now.
yes, who does
Robert
have?
has
Art of
Mike
Mike Disney. And Evelyn, last but
Nice.
not least, who do you have so that we can get the rolls
I
going?
have
And Mike is definitely here.
Chav
Hunter.
86.
Chav, if you are here, please send us a message in
Yes.
chat so we can get you rolling. But we are going to start with Pat, who has... Pat, who did you have?
Woden.
Woden, with advantage on Woden's roll, since Woden is a sub. Why don't you give us your rolls?
Yep.
Raw dice.
First one is a 10,
Okay, that's very good.
and the second one is a 10. Two
I'm
10s.
banning your dice. You need to get a new set of d6. I don't think you've ever
These are
rolled
like
lower than a
30
4.
Hey, these are classics. These are my 30-year-old D&D dice. from
Ah,
the-
that's why they've been cursed.
They do.
Yeah,
Pretty
they're full of
Pretty good
ancient
in the dice
magic,
bag.
is why. Let's go on to Chandlar, who
Yes.
rolled an unfortunate 12 earlier. We'll see if he can pull it back.
Chav Hunter
Let's
here.
see
I
here.
have
10.
Yes, good.
10?
Yes.
But you get to roll again, I believe, because I think... Oh, wait, is Obsidian a follower?
Obsidian's an 8-month subscriber.
Obsidian is a subscriber.
Then
Yes.
you get to roll one more time, see if you can beat that 10.
Roll one time.
Another 10.
Ah, man, you guys on the 10s. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Roll off.
All right,
roll off.
Robert,
You hold those.
you are rolling for Mr. Disney.
Like Disney.
You know what I need a royal for?
A20.
Wait, we're doing 2d6.
Oh, 2d6.
I was like, how did you do that on a 2d6?
Yeah.
Way to
I
cheat,
don't know.
rookie.
No one
Rookie.
told me this rule.
We're all rookies.
2d6.
2d6.
The first time was a 7.
Second
So-
time?
And for Mike, yeah.
Second time is a 10.
Oh my gosh! Evelyn,
Tie.
Evelyn,
Okay,
please.
Esther, can you break it? Can you break the tie? Okay, roll the dice. Thank you.
And a single die for the tiebreaker.
We'll see.
That was a 10.
A 10.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
do you only get one roll for your person?
Yeah.
Is that a
His,
4-way
Jeff Hunter's
tiebreaker?
follower.
Guys,
Oh
I
my
don't have
gosh.
4 copies of this book. We have to find someone who wins.
Okay.
We'll do 1d6 for the tiebreaker.
1d6. Okay.
Everybody at the
Pick which one you
same
wanna
time. I know that there's a little bit of lag because we're in a Discord call, but
Okay.
3, 2, 1, roll it.
Roll.
Oh shit, mine fell on the floor.
I got
You gotta get it. You gotta get it in the tray though. Roll
Yeah,
it
I
in the
know.
tray.
4.
Okay. 4.
3.
Robert?
1.
Oh my gosh,
So
another
2 fours.
tie.
Okay.
So the
Roll
tie is
off.
currently between
Esther, yeah.
Obsidian
I tried.
and who? Obsidian and Chav?
And Chav Hunter.
Chav and Obsidian.
Okay,
It is
roll.
currently between the two of you. 3.
I rolled my dice.
What did you roll, Chandler?
2.
That's it for Chav Hunter.
Chav Hunter wins.
Chav Hunter, you are getting this beautiful copy of the Monster of the Week rulebook. It is beautiful. It is fun. You're going to have a lot
you
of fun
rolled the
reading
best.
through it. I promise you will.
What about the floor?
And
Get
everyone,
it.
Evelyn, can we find someone to raid into? I know that I'm like using your mod powers so
We can
much
do
right
that.
now. But
You're good. We have right now up. We have. Let's see.
while you work on that, I'm going to start asking a question that I think has been on everyone's mind tonight.
Yes.
And I think we all know what the question is, but it needs to be asked anyways, because the question begins with if you're a follower. Well, no. It begins with if you're even a viewer. If you're just sitting there, watching the stream, and you haven't followed yet. Well, that's one part of the question. But if you're a follower, and you haven't subbed yet, oh my gosh, what's going on? If you're a sub, and you've let your sub expire, I will send monsters your way, and you'll have to hunt them yourself, and I will help you run through those adventures, I
cool.
promise. But we all, the 5 of us, have
Are we
one
gonna
question
have to
for
roll
you.
more dice?
What are you doing? Thank you guys very much. I love how delayed and long a "What are you doing" ends up over a video call. That's really fun. Thank you guys very much.
We're rating Loot Die Repeat
Loot
right
Die
now.
Repeat. I hope you guys enjoy. Everyone, go on over, give them some love. They're a really great stream that we enjoy raiding into. And
Green?
see you next time, folks.
Bye guys.
Bye. That timed really well with the music as well.
Oh, I forgot.
Thomas.
Yes.
How do you want Chav